Nice.
Luckily, I already have the message prepped in Rec League chat, and we're good to go.
Yippee!
Sweet.
Massive matchup. Every game matters.
Yep, massive matchup. Every game matters. You got former teammates, past Rec League champions. You got everything there. And the lobby just dropped because it's been
I
live
got
for too long.
okay. Yep. Awesome. We're off to a great start tonight.
Uh, yep. Alright. Me. Oh, I gotta turn streamer
Yeah,
mode on.
yeah, that would be nice too.
Yep.
Loosely hear some of those pings in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Get the lobby problems sorted. And then finally get us into draft too. Wheesh.
Alright. Me. I've yet to get an invite. You bozos. Well, lucky
Yeah,
for
we're waiting.
you guys, I have some power.
Battlefy admin action.
Yep. Yep, I have access to all the tournament codes. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it? There it is. Sweet. Can I not invite you to the game? What the fuck?
Is it like a full
No.
lobby?
Here, I just sent it to you.
Mm. Oh, the code.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm like hovering you and it won't let me invite the game. Like, what the hell?
interesting.
It's getting too late for this shit. LeBronzo, what's up? No, the game has not started yet. We just had a couple of players MIA and we're just waiting for everything to get started here.
Getting itchy.
Yeah, I'm getting a
Coming up
little.
on 30 minutes post schedule time, but not yet in draft. Ah!
I see Kazulan in the lobby, so looks like we're pulling the trigger on Kazulan here at mid for the Caster Curse squad. There's the draft spectate link. Alright, cool. The good news is we should be well past our ad window. So, yeah, it normally starts at 5 minutes, and we're at 6.5.
Be
Ah,
positive.
alright, it looks like we are ready to go here. So, sorry for everything. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we are here. Of course, an ad break just started. Screw it. I'm talking through it. Uh, we are here with Caster Curse that unfortunately has two subs here in Jackie Daytona in the jungle, and from the Big Brains All Mechanics team, Kazulan is uh is subbing in since their mid laner is MIA.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this affects, what was supposed to be one of probably our matchup of the week. On paper, these teams matching up really evenly, maybe slightly Caster Curse favored. With, the substitutes, it may be fair to give the edge to Team Solid now. I will say though, I think Caster Curse, you look at their squad, they do have like their core of their team. We talked about how they were learning to kind of win through elsewhere, but if I wanted three players on the side of Caster Curse, it would be One Handed Gaming, Big Sexbird, and Pens.
I'm 100% with you there. I think the two big carries or two big pinch points, top and bot, are still present. So they're still a very formidable, still very very lethal team. Um, jungler can kind of get towed around the map and just overall bring something there, but mid lane to me is like you're the support of the jungler. So I think Team Solid will have a pretty big window to attack in this mid jungle duo here because these are two guys that I'm gonna go on a limb and say have never played together. But yeah, so we see the Volley Bear coming out in the first pick as I
Yeah, pull
screwed
up
up
that
my
draft.
scenes because I am bad.
It's all chill. Pretty easy to catch up on stuff. But
Yep.
first round of bans for Team Solid. A Mumu ban, Pantheon ban. Like those, taking away easy to execute junglers away from Jackie. And a Zaya ban coming through as well. Get him rid of the bird for the bird. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how much we've seen Zaya out of the Caster Curse bot lane, but is the anti-dive 80 carry, so it'll be interesting to see if Solid went for that ban to help maybe set themselves up for a dive comp on their end. And
Yeah.
first round of picks coming through.
Uh huh. We see the Udyr coming out. That's not something I see that often, and it's fairly flexible. I know he can go top
Dogma?
or
Yep.
jungle. Yep. We there was two directions you went with this Milio of your caster curse. It's either the Lucian or like a late game scaler, and we've seen this Milio Kog'Maw come out a few times from them.
Yeah, I think I like the pick. It lets you match up scaling wise into Sivir Lulu, which, quite the scaling bot lane themselves. I wouldn't expect too much crazy action out of this bottom lane, but if I were to give the edge, it would be to the Kog'Maw Melio if they can use both of their W abilities effectively with the campfire and with the extra Kog'Maw range, then that should help them out with some of these trades, but don't expect anything super wild in the bottom lane.
No, and actually, I think this is probably the best answer that teams have had into this is just matching the scaling for scaling with the Sivir Lulu.
Hey, look at the bans. Trundle ban coming through.
Yep.
Are we gonna see a set ban, or is there gonna be an answer for it? Uh,
Maybe. Let's see.
Tension.
Hmm.
TF Gragas, are those does
The,
Caster Curse get round two bans?
they do get round two bans. Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so knocking out a safe top lane blind pick and a reliable mid lane pick, and there's the set. So
Oh, and
Caster Curse. Ooh.
Kazulan gets this banned away from him in his regular games, but then decides to throw out the Malzahar here. So, interesting pickup. I think if I'm looking for a Malzahar window, I wanted R5 because there's a lot of things in mid that can bully him.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I know we touched on the Malzahar a little bit in our weekly show, and that was kind of the consensus opinion was you can get a little bit counterpicked. So how does Vel'Koz answer into the Malzahar?
A good Vel'Koz can be a nightmare to deal with as Malzahar, but Malzahar does have gank setup. I'm just concerned that the setup's not going to be enough if it's Udyr jungle. If they do pivot
Hmm.
the Udyr to top lane, which does strike me as a one-handed gaming champion, unironically, then I think bringing out a very aggressive jungler to like really attack this Vel'Koz, I could see something like a Jarvan come out, or even something like a Lilia, a Mumu, well, Mumu's banned, but something like pretty gank heavy would be very useful here. So we'll see the Vel'Koz Wukong.
Yeah, well,
Ooh.
I mean, we'll have to see where this all ends up going because the Volibear and the Wukong could kind of be interchanged as well. I'm not sure, if that was intentional, and I would say either kind of match up okay into this Tom Kench. I'd probably want the Volibear into the Tom Kench, just in terms of sustain. But we'll see how this all ends up shaking out, as we got a pretty spicy game one draft out of both sides here. A few kind of flex-ish pick options and a few pocket picks coming out as well.
Yeah, I agree. There's a touch of spice in this draft. Tom Kench top. I'm not 100% sure of. I mean, I see it, and every time I see it, it does tend to pop off. But in competitive play, it's very, it's very flippy. Because I think Volibear can do some damage to it early, or if it's the Wukong top, then I think Kinch is much more favorable in that one, since his primary damage is magic.
Yeah, I expect Souls to take the Volibear top because then it can Volibear into Tom Kench is a favorable matchup because it will sort of get you set up in terms of those 1v1 sustain fights. You'll have that Volibear bite to be able to actually out-sustain the Tom Kench with just more damage overall. I don't dislike Tom Kench in a competitive environment. I don't think that's going to be a disadvantage for the side of Caster Curse at all. It may not be the usual like bruiser damage carry pick we see out of the top side from the Caster Curse squad, so that would be something my eyes are on is they are kind of setting themselves up to play a bit of a protect the Kog'Maw comp right now.
Yeah, I mean, in the sense of helping out the Kog'Maw, the Tom Kench does have a lot of value here. My overall arcing concern is for Caster Curses, who's going to get on to this Vel'Koz or the Sivir. But likewise, if Team Solid does run into Caster Curse's comp, there is quite a bit of peel and just disruption there with Malzahar. Malzahar typically loves to be more of a reactionary champion compared to proactive. So it's a very interesting comp. It looks like for Caster Curse they just wanted to get their core members
Hey,
on
never pick a fight you
things
can't
that'll
win.
play for Bird, and then they wanted the subs to be comfortable overall.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. And on the flip side, I do like Team Solid's draft in terms of how balanced it is. We really have every lane has kind of their own little carry potential and damage threat. You know, Sivir in the late game for 7 and Squeezy's Lulu. That's going to be a, quite the formidable backline threat to kind of rival the Kog'Maw Melio. I think the Vel'Koz into the Malzahar will be interesting to see how that plays out because we have seen Zelda Guy pilot this Vel'Koz before to some, I believe it was a win. And so if the Vel'Koz can get ahead, this looks like a very nice Vel'Koz game, just in terms of being able to keep range, poke down, and then ultimately shred through with the ulti laser beam, and the front line of Souls and Wukong in the midst of it all too. This game may be decided depending on who can get an early lead, just based off the teams playing kind of similarly into each other.
Yeah. I think comeback comeback chances for both teams is kind of difficult. Though I do love at least a little bit of the proactive and frontline options out of Team Solid. So if they get behind your 2-3K gold, they have the wave clear to extend this game. And then it just depends on where that gold gets allocated for Caster Curse. If Caster Curse gets behind, I don't like this comp at all. There's just no way to really like grind back into this game.
Yeah, and it's not like they have any particularly strong early games either. I'd say maybe your Cogma Melio is what you look to play through, but Udyr's not a early ganking champ either. This is a champ that wants to sit back, farm it out, really play for late. So Cyanic is someone on Team Solid known for getting out on the map and really making stuff happen early for his team. So I think the onus will be kind of on the junglers here. I know there is a substitute for Caster Curse with Jackie Daytona. So I think my eyes are on Cyanic Acid for this upcoming early game and seeing what this Wukong can do to hopefully help snowball those lanes and get the solid team set up for a comfortable early game that can transition well into a potential win.
Yep. I think we're pretty much aligned on all of that. It's just gonna be this early game's gonna mean a lot for both teams, and this will be a fun one to sit back and enjoy here. I am getting word that Croesus, I believe, is going to be available for Game 2. And the original plan, because of the delay in the timing, was the jungler for Caster Curse, Etrium. He'll make Game 2 as well. So we'll at least see one game of both full lineups going at it.
Okay,
So
that's pretty nice. Wow,
that
so really just the one game of the two substitutes, and then the other two are going to be back for game two?
yeah. Well, the original delay was for Etrium, and just dealt with work and life stuff, which I totally understand. And then after that was the latest that they wanted to delay it, and so then they found Jackie Daytona as a sub for Etrium, and then the thing with Croesus is don't know he was MIA, and Kazilan stepped up, so
Yeah, don't want to be waiting too long. I mean, this game already starting pretty late for all the East Coast
it's 11
based
p.m.
people. Yeah, that's unreal. 11 p.m. for a game one. I wouldn't blame it if this affected gameplay at all. It's just going to be tough to keep that energy, stay calming, and
I
really be proactive.
I had one series, and this was 3 Sweat League splits ago that started at midnight Eastern. I wanted to murder somebody. Like, oh my god. I think it was Hairwick's series too, if I remember correctly. It was a Small Brains versus somebody series.
That's insane. And he's East Coast too. Like, why would you?
I
Like, I get if it's two PST teams, going at each other starting at 9, but that's just absurd. You're really.
Alright. I am in game, good sir.
Yes, I am currently black screened, just with some spectator problems. So hopefully that gets
Well,
itself sorted out.
18, 19. I'm pausing here at 20, good sir.
Bum, bum, bum. Been having some PC problems as of late. All right, I'm good.
Let me know when we're at
Said you were
20.
at 20?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, I am there.
Alright. 21, 22. Alright. Well, thank God Kazulan subbed in, because I didn't want to show him what these old hands had to do. Because they were wanting me to sub.
They were really egging you on. It was
They,
kind of crazy.
I got history. So the last team to win the Rec League back in 2023 was myself, Souls, and Pens, along with 2 other gentlemen. And so there's definitely some history there. But like I said, we've done some in-houses featuring Zelda, and me and Zelda have went at it. Yeah, we could depending who you ask, we could story time who got the better of that. But either way, it is always fun to lane against someone as random as Zelda, and he always bans my Acel.
A lot of wacky picks. Vanning the Acel. Is that just is that a CLT kind of pocket pick that I don't know about?
It's not that deep into the pocket. I mean, if you look at my champion history, there's a subset of champions that I enjoy playing. Everybody knows about the Anivia and a few others, but Acel's in there as well.
Nice.
So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, looking at this so far, I think we seen this Kazulan Zelda matchup back in week 1, and Zelda, that might have been the first time he played Vel'Koz. So, a little bit of a rematch here for Kazulan.
See if he can get the better with the side of Caster Curse on him. Is that mid lane kind of playing out how you'd expect it to? Heavy trading in the top lane too.
Yeah. It's mainly, for the most part, a wave clear up until. Big level 2 fight up top here. See, one-handed though. Spectator, what are you doing to me? All right, never mind. Fighting the bot lane too.
Yeah, he's walking that one off with pretty low health, dropped down below 100, and this is what we kind of talked about with the Volley Bear. It's going to be able to out-sustain the Tahm Kench. You can see him proccing the passive off the wave, getting some extra damage into the Frog. It just makes it really tough for Tahm Kench to play how he usually wants to play, which is just in your face, as you will be out-damaged and out-healed on the side of the Volley Bear.
Yeah, this Volley Bear is actually in a really good spot. And I think for the most part, because of how one-handed loves to play the game and the champions he picks, Volley Bear is actually a pretty sleeper pick. Maybe someone's been doing their homework over here on Team Solid.
Have we finally found the answer? Is this it?
Well, we
Ooh,
found
stun
something.
coming through. A lot of damage coming through.
Oh, first blood
Flash out from one-handed game and flash follow. Oh my goodness. Souls beating him down.
Souls accepting this challenge here up in the top side. I know at one point these teams have scrimmed each other, so there's even some history there as well. Like, these two teams love this game and they play it quite well.
Yeah, I don't even really know what happened there. I think just a little bit of disrespect from One-Handed Gaming walking up too far, and Soul's just able to easily connect with the stun. Rest of the combo comes through and enough damage to pop him after the flash follow. So now all summoners down in the top side. See if junglers do anything to pounce. Speaking of junglers, Jackie making his way into the bottom side.
Oh, 7 Nice spell shield, but still felt like he had to flash there. So flash off the bot side here. Mid lane though, even CS, but one-handed. You keep fighting this big bear. This does not go according to plan.
This is not working at all.
And the
Another
wave's pushing
chomp.
away from him. Oh no.
This is going to put Jackie in a pretty weird spot because Jackie was full clearing down. Saw him visit with that gank in the bottom side, forcing out the flash from 7. But now his top camps are respawning. He may fall a little bit behind on tempo because he may have to bail this frog out here after clearing his top camps. And that will put a bit of a stall on clearing his bot camps. So we'll see what the decision is from the caster curse top side of things here. And what they do to help kind of bail out one-handed gaming in what has been a struggling top lane matchup so far. Cyanic in the bot lane in the meantime, though.
Kazulan having a little bit of trouble here. This is where I would expect Vel'Koz to have a little bit of a window to fight back. Still, you know, pretty even in the CS department, eating some poke here. I would expect probably a Faded Ashes or something first back here for Malzahar. He's just 50 gold shy of oh, but level 6 hit by Zelda guy there, and ends up getting one back.
Oh my goodness, Kazulan just flashing to the side there. Not enough to get out of the life form disintegration ray, and that counter pick Vel'Koz coming in nicely.
Yep. I like is he gonna have enough? He does not, so Kazulan not able to get Lost Chapter here. I'd have loved him to go Faded Ashes, just to at least help with the wave clear, since he's gonna clear out the Voidlings. But there is a world where Kazulan here, he pushes out the wave. He's got 250. He could actually get another cheater recall here for a Lost Chapter. It does feel bad, but you know, if Zelda's not running the TP, you can get away with that. So,
Like that. I want to zoom out, kind of bigger picture here. What we ended up seeing happening from that potential topside problem I talked about is top lane did stay relatively neutral, but you can see Souls building up a pretty big CS lead, 25 up in that top lane. Wave still pushing back to him. Jackie opting to clear down, help out his bot lane, play around that protect the Kog'Maw comp, as Pens and Bird have been laying it into 7 and Squeezy. Getting the push. This is the power of that 2v2 Kog'Maw. Melio has the slight edge. I think well done on Jackie trying to play around that bot lane, facilitate them a bit more, as they really are your main hope in this game just because of how solo lanes have been going. So maybe looking to transition that into some early dragon plays, or just setting yourself up for kind of further farm game. But a slow lead getting built in the bot side for Caster Curse is helping with the struggling solo laners.
yeah, the fact that the First Blood and Souls is going more damage on the Volley Bear kind of means the threatening part of this comp doesn't come online to a little bit later. I know it's more damage onto the Kog'Maw, but if you have an Enchanter as a tank, you're kind of just never going to do enough damage here. So I'm very curious to see where he goes. It looks like it's Cosmic Drive first here on Volley Bear, so want to speed up to stay on top of this Kog'Maw. There's a lot of peel for this Kog'Maw too.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that as well. More shopkeeper discussions, but it feels like you would have enough damage with Sivir, Vel'Koz, Wukong already, and being that frontline role would play quite well in the Volley Bear side. Maybe it itemizes better for the 1 versus 1 matchup, but even still, I think you don't mind going tank there. Jackie starting up the grubs though, and we're seeing a bit of a collapse out of the side of Team Solid.
Yeah, it looks like Jackie's already got one of them. Spectator, we're just, alright, manual it, sure. You know, we have one-handed, kind of
Flash. Trade of flashes in the mid lane there, out of Zelda guy and Jackie.
So, second grub taken here. This third grub's going to be big. Kazulan having a really good zone here. Oh, did he cancel the
Oh,
Malzahar
he
ult?
canceled it.
Oh no! That is 2 kills going over. Now a third one here to Souls is a triple kill.
Oh my
Oh, he
goodness.
K-drilled it. Oh,
And that
they
volley bear is massive now.
okay. Now all of my crap about the damage build goes out the window. You're so accelerated, you can cheat damage early, and you're not going to feel the loss of tank stats because you're already going to be building it second. So that's a feels bad for the top side of Caster Curse.
Yeah, I mean that fight, that little skirmish around the grubs though, just big kind of wad of meatballage as teams standing in each other's face, and Delta guy with the Vel'Koz ult on the backside and the AoE of the Wukong ulti and the Volley Bear E Storm Splitter coming through. All that is just too much damage for the side of Caster Curse, who have been struggling so far on this top side of the map, and I think this is looking pretty rough as the 10-minute Cosmic Drive is in for the Volley Bear, and that's going to mean big things for the top side of the map for Souls.
Yeah, and every time we're panning up here, Souls has this wave frozen here. This is just not overall good here. I do like the fact that the bot lane is even. The good side for Caster Curse, they did get the grubs as well, but that feels more like a denial than something you're going to use later on.
Yeah, I'd agree. And you're only getting 2. You didn't get the full 3, so it only means so much. I think I'm turning my eyes if I'm Jackie and this bottom lane of Caster Curse, trying to keep us in it. Let's look for some dragons. Let's continue to play around, hopefully a late game 5v5, and try to get Bird more in the game. Not let Seven and Squeezy just handshake this bottom lane because they know their solo laners are doing so good.
Yeah, 100%. Looks like this is potentially Malignance coming out for Zelda. Oh, he's got the Flash R. Nice play. Here's like one of the few proactive things you can do with Malzahar's Flash R. Everybody's favorite thing to run into.
Big shutdown too.
That was
It's gonna be nice over to the side of Kazu.
Yeah, Kazulan being ahead. Oh, Jackie's here in the bot side, but Cyanide Acid was in this brush here. Bird getting healed away. Now they have a chance of potentially turning this here. Nice Lulu ult coming out. Jackie Daytona is going to end up getting chopped down, as both AD carries are just Thanos with these enchanters behind them.
Yeah.
Oh,
they had
potential
that
solo
initial
kill in the
pounce.
top
Ooh.
lane. Oh, we got a flash. Potentially.
Oh, the heals? The shielding coming through? Ooh.
Oh, big things there for Caster Curse, especially in the top side. Bot side at least went even. Cyanide Acid had a really nice lane gank there. But this is the first dragon. The fact that first dragon's taken at 12 minutes is a really good thing for Caster Curse, but they still have a Sivir on the other side they got to contend with. Oh, bot lane tried to press out. Maybe? Yeah, I think they're okay.
Still has Splash. I think it'll be alright.
Yeah.
I like that call. Try to get the wave pushed out. That way you can get a safer back. But ultimately, well done from the side of Team Solid's bottom lane and jungler. Cyanic Acid sitting in that bush, knowing there's going to be a play coming in that area. And then the side of Team Solid just pouncing instantly, able to get that kill onto the jungler, the substitute jungler. Hold that thought. It looks like we have some more action in the mid.
Kazulan's ult's coming up here soon, but they cannot catch Zelda guy. Souls, though, in the back. It's going to be massive. There is quite a few slows here. Kazulan does have the ult coming back. Pins, though, kind of getting baited here in the area.
All over the place.
Jackie getting ulted here by Vel'Koz. Pin still running away. And Caster Curse, oh, nice ult here. Nice turnaround. Still a lot of pressure coming out. Tahm Kench, though, gets the double knock-up. Oh, we love these fights here.
Bird flashing forward.
Oh, and he ends up consuming. Bird, though's kind of outside of this fight here. No ult available for Zelda guy, and that ends up being a 2-for-1 in a freaking hectic fight. for Caster Curse.
Yeah, that was wild. So all members ending up collapsing on that mid lane there, as it starts off kind of looking good for the side of Caster Curse, who have Jackie on the flank and kind of bringing up the support of Pens. Zelda guy able to walk that out with the support of his team. Souls on the rotation. And then it's Cyanic Acid who chases a little too far. Gets caught mid-Nimbus Strike by the Malzahar ulti for an easy shutdown kill. And then One-Handed Gaming gobbling up Souls under tower again. That's how he got that solo kill on the top side. That classic Tom Kench moment. Spitting them out under tower as trade of ulti from Zelda guy for a little bit of a chunk and a bird. But that Tom Kench ulti under tower has cost Souls 2 of his deaths now. 2 pretty pivotal deaths, as One-Handed Gaming is slowly starting to crawl back into this game. Because at a certain point, the Volibear just isn't going to have enough damage to have kill pressure onto the Tom Kench. And I think we're getting closer to that point.
Yeah, I like the build overall, but they're putting a lot of pressure. This Vel'Koz can throw a lot of spells out and clear these waves and kind of just basically siege these turrets quite well. I do like moving Kazulan here in the bot side just to freely farm against 7. One-handed though keeps just saying hi to Souls. But
Yeah, actually a level down now though is Souls. Those deaths and rotations catching up to him just a little bit here. Pen's getting quite low as well.
Zelda does not have ult here, but it is getting close. He is running low on mana here. Kazuhan coming up from bot side here. Jackie rotating around as well. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We're kind of cresting over into the mid-game part of this game 1. So I think it'll be interesting to see how many more fights really break out on these side lanes. They do expect things to kind of slow down, and our next little big breakpoint to be around the Infernal Dragon spawning in a little over a minute's time here. To see teams fighting over waves in the meantime. Team Solid did pick up that Herald. His ulti in the mid lane.
Oh, bird! Taking a boatload of damage from Zelda here.
Yeah, falling quite low. Melio ult forced out. I do think that will be fight in the top lane too.
Ooh.
Brings down the hammer, Volibear, with that ulti right on top of One-Handed Gaming's flash. And another solo kill for Souls on this Volibear.
May have found One-Handed's kryptonite here. Souls a very well respected top laner. He's had a stint in the Sweat League as well, so this guy knows what he's doing up there.
Yeah, and first tower going to be taken pretty much all solo for this Volibear. Absolute side lane menace. This is an angle Caster Cursor are not used to playing from usually. The exact opposite, if anything. But now looking at this dragon spawning in 5 seconds, without the Melio ult, Zelda guy using the Vel'Koz ult to help force that out. Be interesting to see what the call is to contest. As Volibear making his way down, and the rest of Team Solid too. Squeezy leading the charge a little bit, and Herald comes down in the bottom lane as both teams get posted up for this dragon 18 minutes into the game.
Yeah, Souls down here as well. TP though available for One-Handed here. Yo. Oh, nice engage! Lulu ult as well going with it. Pens though having the burn, does not have the ult actually. 7 ends up taking down Bird here. Jackie did. Oh, 7! 7! 7! Oh! Oh my lord, Sivir.
Awesome. Saw the glory. Little wild turtle moment there, flashing forward between the two mid lane towers. But that initial kill onto Kog'Maw, you know, it is the protect the Kog'Maw comp. So with that initial kill, it is enough for Team Solid to pick up their second Drake of the game here.
Yeah, and this is kind of an example here, looking at this trade and how it's forming. Like, it's going to be hard for One-Handed to really like walk into this team comp. They are very good at keeping them at arm's reach here. If One-Handed, I think, got there earlier, he could have ulted the Kog'Maw. But we see him diving in here, getting polymorphed. Pen's burning the ult to cleanse it. Cyanide, though, sitting there trying to fight here. Grey Hell Shield is available. Bird, though, coming around the corner. And it looks like this ended up getting kind of baited here for Bird. See if he can land the ult here. Jinx the first one. And ends up getting the second one, so.
Yeah, well done by Bird and Pens there. Not really a bait, but they were able to force out Zelda Guy and Squeezy, forcing the flashes out of them on the bottom side of that fight. After flashing kind of forward there, and then just on the loop around. I think Cyanic Acid was trying to build space
Nice side
for
step.
his mid support to get out. But yeah, fight in the bot lane in the meantime.
Sidestep from Kazulan's Q-Cut. Oh my lord! I was not expecting that. Holy shit. Okay,
There's the Cosmic Drive.
that's the big bear. Yep, I thought Kazulan had some counterplay there, but nope, never mind.
Yeah, pretty tough. Once that Volibear ulti comes down with the Stormbringer, you know, you go unstoppable, and then gap closing is pretty easily, especially into a Malzahar. And we are continuing to see this Volibear be a side lane menace. Zelda Guy, no flash, Jackie chasing him down.
One-handed also here as well. Oh, but here's Cyanic Acid, though, to help. Jackie Daytona does fall. One-handed, though, trying to do all he can. Grey Health burned here. No one's coming up. And this looks like they're just going to be able to kite him out. Just to go over to Team Solid.
Yeah, I don't like what Caster Curse is doing right now. I think you need to play around your bottom lane here before the game slips out too far. You know, your side lanes are kind of your weak point this game. Souls collapsing in the mid lane. Bird and Pens just going to run out to the top side. But here comes Zelda Guy. Pins third.
Oh, nice movement speed. Nice movement from Bird overall there.
Yeah, dodging out on some of those slowing abilities, is able to get out in time. But your strong point is Bird right now. You know, no one can really match the Volibear. You should be playing away from the Volibear. But even on the side lane, the Wukong and the Vel'Koz are ahead of the curve. Your Kog'Maw's really the only one who can hold their own in these skirmishes. So that's where I need to see Caster Curse kind of play around. You know, lean on Pens and Bird here to try to bring you into the late game where you still may have a chance at this game one.
Oh, that's an even bigger bear now with the Lulu ult. Oh.
Yeah, just crashing on down. Easy kill onto Bird. Just steps up a little bit too far. One-handed game is stepping up a bit too far as well. Forced to flash out here. The rest of Caster Curse kind of poking their head into the mid lane.
Yeah, heel burned by Squeezy there. Kazulan had a chance to... Yeah, he ends up shoving bot side here. But Dragon will be up in a minute 30, so a little long to set up. Otacon on the map, but Otacon feels like a very big throw opportunity for these two teams. I don't think you flip it.
Yeah, you know, if your team's solid, keep doing what's been working. It's been going real solid so far. You know, just have souls in the side lane, getting push, maybe rotating over after getting the push, and punishing the rest of the Caster Curse squad. It's easy follow-up for the rest of that Team Solid group. The Sivir ulti with the Vel'Koz ulti, all easy. But Souls maybe a bit caught out here. Quite tanky on that Volibear now, though, as the second item Sphere of Visage is already in.
Yeah. Also, Kazulan, though, walking into this tri-brush here, you are not able to walk in there at all. Bird, though, getting jumped on now. Pen's trying to do everything he can, but here's the Kog'Maw passive coming out here. Now you do have the opportunity for Otacon.
This one's not a throw when you get 3 for 0. Great fight from the side of Team Solid. Just pouncing instantly on their strong point. They have the Volibear there. Kazulan misstepping into the blue side jungle of their squad. You know, maybe thinks he's a little safe with the flash, but doesn't get the chance to use it. And jungle, mid, and 80 carry of Caster Curse are just popped from the crazy damage that Team Solid has.
Yeah, we're starting to see this Volibear now dip into some tankiness, potentially Unending Despair coming up here. I don't mind the Bramble Vest coming out of one-handed gaming, but I just feel like he's gonna want Warden's Mail into like Randuin's, i.e. now completed for 7. So this Sivir is gonna start hitting quite hard.
And you were right on the unending despair. A lot of item spikes coming in. Vel'Koz's picking up the Shadow Flame as well. So putting Caster Curse in quite a bit of a tough spot now because you really can't hold your own anywhere anymore. We saw what happened when they tried to play around the Kog'Maw with all 5 members there. Jackie pushing a little too far forward here as well is going to fall down easily. Wukong popping that Cyclone. Did he pop? Yeah, pop the Cyclone. Sivir all coming through as well, looking to catch out one-handed gaming. Just trying to waddle on out there. Abyssal Voyage gets canceled. That's more clean pickups on kills for the side of Team Solid. And their eyes are going to turn towards a 25-minute Baron. Starting it up here.
Yep.
Should be pretty easy with jungler down and top laner down. As they look to they're really pushing the envelope here on this one. Had the lead and are doing a good job of making sure they keep it and continuing to push the pace, forcing missteps out of Caster Curse. Speaking of, BSB and Pens maybe a little caught out.
Oh my lord.
Top goes the
Oh,
Weasel.
and
Pens trying to flash out, but Soul is going to be right there. Just a great series of uncontested kills and picks coming out from Team Solid, and now that they have the Baron, this is pretty much their game to lose. We'll see if they can close it out cleanly. One-handed gaming getting caught out a bit too far, but Kazulan in the area. The old-fashioned spit under tower trick, is it going to be enough?
No, Lulu's doing his best, and Acid's gonna walk out. Oh my, they threw everything in the kitchen sink at this Wukong and could not get it. I seen the theory there by one-handed. And at this point, trading a kill for a kill is worth it. Everybody's, for Team Solid, has a shutdown.
Enough. Wallets are too big. I mean, we're looking at over a 10k gold lead now that Team Solid has earned themselves. Really over just the past 10 minutes. I mean, we had a pretty close game until things just kind of started crumbling apart thanks to some great map movement and great punishment from the whole of Team Solid onto Caster Curse.
Yeah, this is Team Solid. This is probably, like, I would say, like, one of their complete games. Oh, knockup coming out here. Cyanitic. See if he can get out. There's the slow. That's the big thing we needed. Shutdown going over the Kazulan. That's where you want this gold allocated here. I'm seeing one-handed. Looks like he's trying to finish up this Thorn Mail, which I am now just going to officially dub the Rec League special. Because you don't need Thorn Mail, just Bramble's fine. Thorn Mail itself is not that gold efficient of an item. And when you're against a crit 80 carry, Randuin's is just much better.
Agreed. And I really don't even like Grievous on the Bramble, excuse me. I feel like it's usually better built on your 80 carry or on your mid laner if they are someone who can apply it. But in this case, it makes a little bit of sense in the isolated 1v1. But we'll see what that ends up kind of turning into for them.
Yeah, it's now the macro of Team Solid I think is going to be tested because Malzahar still can delay a game. One-handed just going absolutely man mode here, ends up picking out the Lulu. Squeezy having to flash away, so okay. But here comes Soul, nice Q from Pens coming in. Nice cleanse coming out of Pens. Though Big Bird is trying to hit this freaking bear, but just no chance for Souls to go down. The Lulu is just putting in so much work.
Yeah, I think just
shield.
too far ahead.
Trying his best. Souls, though, tanking the turret. but Kazulan does fall. They're just now so behind the pace that it's hard for damage. I think Bird had to go not Ghost Blade, Rage Blade here, but probably was just so beaten on gold income. He just went for the rune-ins there.
Now, Chemtech Soul, about 30 minutes into this game, should all but seal it. I mean, we already saw just with that earlier team fight how durable the side of Team Solid was. Adding a Chemtech Soul on top of that, it's going to be nigh impossible to win this one for the side of Caster Curse. You know, maybe look for a miracle play, some catch outs here or there, but I think Team Solid will just be able to walk this one in.
Yep. Yeah, it's all on to Team Solid here. We still see four members, sorry, have a shutdown, including Seven having 1,000 gold shutdown. Soul's pretty close to it as well. So, let's see where this goes. Kazulan able to wave clear just a little bit here. Jackie Daytona
I mean,
also
it's
with
tough,
the
though.
Leandros helps. But
I like the call with the 4-1 split here. You know, you still have the Volley Bear wreaking havoc in the bottom lane, able to draw 2 down, and you'll slowly chip away on this top tower. And then the bot tower, mid-inhib, already exposed, so no need to really divert resources there. Just keep pressure on the base until this Baron spawns up, and then maybe rotate over until that. And if you're Caster Curse, you're just trying your darndest to hold on, but it's not going to be enough. Ionic Acid going in, getting things started for the team. Picking up another kill onto Kazulan. One-handed gaming and Jackie caught out on this front side, falling low themselves. 2 inhibs down now for the side of Team Solid. Keep on marching forward. Knocking on the inhib tower and the inhibitor now. As Cyanic gonna finish off the last of that one. Forced to Warrior Trickster away, but now 3 inhibs down. Team Solid gonna continue to play things safe after this Lifeform Disintegration Ray. Baron's gonna spawn up, and with 3 inhibs down, probably gonna turn their eyes towards that before they look to continue to march things down and get themselves set up with a series lead going into game 2.
yeah, this game, they're trying to delay the inevitable here, but this is a really hard siege. This is exactly where Team Solid wants their comp to be in with a Vel'Koz. Zelda showing again that this is on the table for him. 5-1 and 10. Yep, this is go to Baron here. Baron is like the bane of all Malzahar players. They absolutely hate Baron minions. It's just impossible to push against them. So
Triple inhib as well. I mean, Zelda guy's just sitting pretty back there, playing some geometry, poking out the side of Caster Curse, who can really do nothing but watch. We'll see if there's a kind of last-ditch effort here at defending the base. But, you know, almost 20k gold
big engage.
down.
Nice
Bouncy
consume here
house.
from one-handed. Pins, though, getting taken out. Cyanic Acid under the turret, tanking. Sterix Gage comes in, but oh my god, he still wins the 1v1 versus Bird there with all of that going on. Zelda flashing away. 7 just free to hit there. And that is our game 1. Going over the Team Solid in a pretty big statement win, though kicking Caster Cursed while they're down with 2 subs.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the most interesting little story here is the 2 subs. That's going to affect things in terms of how maybe this game plays out. You know, a different jungler, different mid laner may change things for the side of Caster Curse, but highlight of the game was definitely Souls in that top lane. really giving it to what has been our best top laner in the league so far in one-handed gaming. Has the volley bear pick. It was the first pick actually, not even necessarily a direct counter pick. And you solo kills, massive CS lead that got translated to the rest of the map. Dominating performance out of the Team Solid top laner.
Yep, I fully expected when it came to the top lane matchups as the season went on that this was going to be the one top laner that could definitely stand toe to toe with one handed, but he also plays the map beautifully as well. So knowing when he can push, when he can pressure, like Souls, as I noted, he has competitive experience, so he knows how to play with the team. But it looks like we might have the full lineup here. I do see Croesus in the lobby. Let's see, do we have an Etrium? I'm seeing potentially. Croesus is in the Discord, so that's going to be a big change of champ pools compared to him and Kazulan. Kazulan definitely is very good, very proficient at a lot of these control mages, uh, but Croesus seems to just have his own champ pool, and it's all go forward aggressive.
Yeah, I think that will be. This is a mid lane matchup I'm excited to see because we know Zelda guy has a lot of versatility in the picks. So does Croesus as well, kind of known for slamming down the gauntlet, going for those Dark Seal refillable ignite setup in terms of items and runes for himself. And so it'll be interesting to see, how Zelda guy answers into that with his own champ pool and what that really looks like, especially in the early laning phases of things.
Yep. And it looks like okay, so Caster Curse will be taking the red side here, and Pens in the lobby noted we have the full lineup. So this is the matchup we've all been waiting for here. I see Etrium's in the Discord now too. So
Yep, yep. Got ourselves a good game too, at least on paper.
that we do, and that's no slight at Jackie Daytona or Kazulan. I think coming in and gave it their best shot in probably a number of unfavorable situations just subbing in.
Oh, very unfavorable. I mean, big shout to them for stepping up in this late night and helping make this game one happen without a crazy like hour-long delay. But it's pretty tough to sub in as a completely new mid jungle and have comfortable synergy with each other, but still showing up decently. Kazulan picking up a few kills on the Malzahar. Now that we got the full squad back, Caster Curse do play as a pretty cohesive unit, so excited to see how that changes things in this game too, as it looks like both teams are taking the same sides as well.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. One thing that kind of like I just thought about is some of the answers uh, to Necrosis's champ pool. Like one of them that would speak to me is a Malzahar, and that being taken out by Fearless, I think is going to be quite interesting. And then you know Zelda guy taking the shot at the Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz seems like a champion that Croesus would love to play into. So finding that window to pull it out here and get a game one win. Just speaking specifically at the mid lane matchups, I think is actually pretty smart overall from the Team Solid lineup. Let's see. So we do have a new draft link if you have not gathered that.
Yeah. Just saw it, so
All right.
I'm fully caught up there. I am gonna run to the restroom real quick, take a quick break, but feel free to start the stream, and I'll be back in a little bit to talk this Game 2 draft.
All right.
Still not in draft. No, it looks like there's some problems. Damn. A lovely nighttime series game continues.
Alright, I'm back.
Just got back myself. Looks like some draft little issues. Whew.
I Draft LOL is absolutely amazing, but it seems like every time there's a series that went late or started late or like shit's happened, then the site just crashes randomly at the worst times.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I know there's a bunch of alternatives, but draft flow always looks like the cleanest, for me at least. I like how they run things. How it's all organized, but sure we'll get it all sorted out here.
Alright, so sorry about the delay. Sorry about, well, everything that I couldn't control. Um, we are now in in the draft of game
Terrible.
2.
We made it!
We made it. We made it.
Finally!
We made it.
Yes.
That we did. Team
Sure.
Solid did take game 1 here on the Caster Curse. Caster Curse, unfortunately, having to have a sub in for Etrium and an emergency sub in for Crosis, but we are at full lineup for both squads here.
We
It's
are, and so things will be interesting.
Soul's taking the brunt of this draft here. Getting the gangplank and the Gragas taken away.
Yeah, I actually like the draft bans here out of Caster Curse in this round one. Getting rid of Misfortune, that's something we've seen Seven play a lot of. Lets Team Solid play a really good team fight setup, and then getting rid of Gragas and Gangplank are just two very safe, early pickable blind top laners. And so maybe setting up one-handed gaming for a little bit of a bounce back game.
Mm-hmm.
Flip side, Pantheon and Mumu, Zaya, same bans as last time for likely similar reasons. Enable yourself to dive into AD carries other than Zaya, and get rid of easy to execute junglers that can team fight well too with Pantheon and a Mumu. Jinx and Ivern coming through for starters here though. Your
I've
thoughts on those two picks?
I love Jinx. Seven has shown that he can be a absolute menace on crit based 80 carries. He positions well, he fights well. It's just you getting to that point has been difficult for him and that squad to get. But the Ivern coming out, I think Ivern's a really sleeper good champion into Jinx specifically, because you can get off really good shields and redemptions, and it becomes really hard for Jinx to get the passive rolling. But one thing we have consistently seen teams do is ban out Crosis' Echo, and so he ends up getting it. But Team Solid has an answer, it looks like, in the Annie mid here.
See how that plays out. I like your point on the Ivern and the Jinx. Another thing to bring up with the Ivern is typically I like Ivern with champions that like to be in the thick of skirmishes that, can really utilize that shield and the shield damage and slow that comes when it pops. So Echo, one of those champions, going to be able to get in the thick of things. We'll see if something like a melee support is drafted in the bottom lane, as well as a classic one-handed gaming bruiser to maybe supplement that even
Ooh.
further. As two more spicy picks, Trundle and Pike coming through.
Yep, we've always talked about it. Get rid of one-handed Trundle here. And it seems like Team Solid wanted to throw the gauntlet down. They said, we're getting rid of a lot of the bot lane power picks from Caster Curse. We're not too afraid of the top side. We have answers for it. And then the Jinx Pike lane is not something I would expect to see that often, but picking that Caster Curse having the Echo, I'm really not a big fan of Pike
Like,
with
I
crit.
hate it.
You hate it here, or you hate the champion?
Yep. The champion and here.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Pike pick here. I feel like you guys had no issues handshaking a scaling lane bot side. You're already showing the Jinx here. Why not pick an enchanter? Because Pike is now another source that Echo can get potentially fed off of. And then Pike
Uh,
all does not have value against Ivern at all.
yeah, it's a squishy champion. You are blind picking it without necessarily a strong matchup. Like I think you kind of mentioned it before I cut you off.
You're good.
Jinx playing a crit marksman like that with the pike, it's just not gonna be that favorable. Pens and Bird have the chance to just slam an even stronger 2v2 here. We've seen I think the Poppy come out a little bit. I like that pick into Pike. It makes the
Oh
Pike really
yeah.
tough to navigate. Any other really engaged support followed by just a stronger laning 80 carry, at least in the early game, is going to match up pretty well there. So a bit concerned about what this Pike is really going to be able to do. I mean, just who are you really killing and hooking here? Like you don't have any quality targets just based off what Caster Curse have locked in for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Caster Curse kind of doubling down here. I've went back and forth for what feels like 5 years with Pens on this Galio support. Um, he loves playing this champion. He absolutely has no issues playing it melee versus melee matchup. And every time there's a pike locked in, he's like, "Ooh, this is a good Galio moment." And for once, I don't disagree. I like the Galio support here. It's not something that you see often, but if you just respect the anti damage, there's not much else Team Solid can do.
Huh.
And then, oh lord, okay, that's a 4-5 from Team Solid there.
I like the Galio support too. Melee into melee is where Galio kind of works out, just has high base damages to play off of. And then Cassante Fiddle rounding things out on the side of Team Solid. I don't know how the Cassante is going to match up into the Trundle. I feel like that'd be pretty Trundle favored just because you want to play into tankier characters that you can really space and just whittle down with those clubs and autos. And then, you know, looking at the Fiddlesticks, just a lot of tanky members on the side of Caster Curse. And I think the Fiddlesticks, it's interesting how this Team Solid comp kind of all meshes together. I don't know what exactly they're trying to do here in order to ultimately win team fights and win the game.
I don't. Yeah, I think Team Solid. I just yeah, this comp is, for lack of a better words, everywhere. Um, Pike wants to make some chaos here. Fiddlesticks would rather have the enemy come into him from different weird angles. Cassante, though, punts people out of fights and just kind of tries to 1v1 them, almost akin to like a Mordekaiser, um, though not direct 1-to-1. And Jinx is in the back, just like, what am I doing here? Uh,
Yeah.
I.
You have no Jinx peel. You
Yeah!
have a weird team fight setup with Annie Fiddle. Uh, Pike is just kind of there. The one angle I can see is if you can pick off someone, get a reset off of Pike and Jinx, then maybe things get explosive and you get off and running. But this is really looking Caster Curse favored just based off the draft here.
The only thing, I'm 100% with you. I don't know how I feel about this Vayne pick because there is so much chaos and just for lack of a better word, shit you have to dodge from Team Solid. I don't know if a short range AD carry is the right answer for that. I mean, there was other options available even in the short range kind of realm where you have like a Kaisa, um, even Yanara. We've seen him play Yanara, Zeri, stuff like that where I think you're better off, but it is late game insurance here. And Echo still is pretty respectable in the late game, but I think they centered in a lot on responding to like the Echo dive here. They do have good responses for it, but I don't know. I just don't know about this Vayne pick.
Because it's also just not really setting yourself up for that lane we were talking about. When you blind Jinx Pike, you have the opportunity to punish that on the side of Caster Curse, Bird, and Pens. Vayne sucks in lane. There's very few exceptions. It's good into other short range AD carries, things like, Kaisa, maybe Samira that do have a tough time spacing you, but Jinx is gonna feel quite okay in this lane, at least in the AD carry v AD carry matchup. So it'll be more up to Pens catching out someone with a taunt, which can be tough due to the range deficit that really they put themselves into, not giving themselves as much initiative as they really could have, which is kind of disappointing to see on my end.
Yeah, I overall like I'm looking at the 2v2 and I feel like there's not much Pike can do to create here, but Vayne Vayne's just such a weird one on scaling. Like she is a late game champion. But it feels like still after like first item and then Rage Blade, like Blade of the Rune King, Rage Blade, if you go that route, she still does like a very respectable amount of damage. I would argue she comes online maybe even earlier than the crit base 80 carries. So it's like I just don't know if you want to be that close to Annie Fiddle.
I don't know how much of an impact we're going to see Bird have. I think most of this game I'm going to be looking towards the top side of Caster Curse. One-handed gaming, back on a comfort pick in the Trundle. Should be a good matchup into the Cassante as well. And then you have the backup of your now main mid jungle back in the side of things. Ivern and Echo. Echo the comfort pick for Crosus. We've seen him dominate on that before. Expect it to go at least decent in the laning phase into Annie. I feel like that may be a tough solo kill lane, but in terms of getting a lead, I think that's very doable for the Echo. And then the Ivern should be pretty comfortable as well, not really at too much threat of getting invaded here by something like a Fiddlesticks. And from there should just be able to kind of waltz on over to whatever lane he wants. Throw those shields up and start to kick things off for the side of Caster Curse, especially in that top side. Oh my gosh, Penn's left the lobby. What's going on
They
here?
locked in Janna. It's like they don't.
Okay. It's just getting that late, huh? Oh
Yeah.
boy. Any East Coast people watching this game in the chat? Just curious. Because it's still a Thursday night too, not even a weekend night. It's like it's a bit much, but we'll see. We'll get back into it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, I am getting annoyed. It's not necessarily it's a cranky annoyed because it's late. I don't even have to work tomorrow. Like I'm perfectly fine with all of this.
Yeah, it's more so just because we're sitting around. It's always the same thing for me. Like if I'm just sitting around waiting for players, I don't mind because I get it. Everybody's been in those situations, but it's no fun. It tilts you before the series even starts, even from a spectator side of things. Is just you're doing nothing but really sitting around waiting for the game to start. There's only so much analysis you can do. You really just want to get into the game and see how things play out. So, yep, I was tilted even before game one, but
Uh,
it is what it is.
ban something, please.
Please,
Okay.
the spear will find your back.
Not a problem.
Okay. This is gonna be the longest pick ban
I'm
ever.
sharpening my feathers.
I'll come back stronger.
Alright. I think we're moving and grooving now.
We are exciting stuff.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah.
I also want to touch on, I don't know how the Casante pick is into the Trundle. You saw Trundle on three. I was wondering, does Souls have another answer? I really like the Volibear pickup early on. I think one of the interesting parts of drafting that we've seen against One-Handed Gaming and Caster Curse is we talk so much about getting the Trundle and the set banned, but usually that doesn't come into phase two until phase two because there's things like Big Sex Bird Saya, that he's pretty much named after. The Pantheon that we've seen out of Etrium, and I think Pens maybe a few times, and the Amumu as well as that strong team fighting pick. So just other high profile value bands that teams are opting for instead of the Trundle in the set, but there just really hasn't been good answers. So I don't know if this Cassante is it. I know Cassante is one of the safest tank picks, but into the Trundle, I don't know if you match up in the 1v1 well.
Yeah, I on paper this feels like a matchup that Trundle would want to have, but Casante's it's just such a weird one because of how offensive he can get randomly. So I don't know. I've I can honestly say I've never seen this matchup on paper. So um, I just I'm looking at the comp and there's so much disjointness from Team Solid's comp. I don't know how they're going to be able to execute it. And then over on the side of Caster Curse, they just love fighting and skirmishing, and I think Ivern can take advantage of a lot of that. So that's. I think it's going to come down to if Team Solid gets ahead, then they can dictate it. Um, they can dictate
When
where
they
a
get
lot of these
ahead,
fights
right?
go. Yeah, when they get ahead. Sorry, this brain is lagging tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. I think in terms of early game, the way Solid could get ahead, maybe some cheese ganks out of Fiddle. If Souls can pull something out of his hat in the top lane, but I think the Fiddle and Pike, Squeezy's Pike teaming up, I wonder if maybe they had a plan with this Pike and that's why they took it. Because it is, regardless of lane matchup, and as much as I don't necessarily love the pick in this game, it is still phenomenal at early game skirmishing. If you can land a hook, you have Hail of Blade autos, great at moving around the map early, so maybe they have some early plans to try to invade and punish this Ivern to prevent Caster Curse from really getting off the ground and running. But outside of the Pike and Fiddlesticks kind of cheesing a lead, it seems really tough of an early game for Team Solid, thanks to the lane that Caster Curse have drafted themselves.
Yeah. Yep. In agreement. The Caster Curse top side puts on a lot of pressure, and just seeing what they picked. They did not shy away from that this game at all. Looking at the mid lane matchup, um, I haven't played this matchup in a while, but I used to be an Echo OTP there, and this has been very, very many seasons ago. And there's worlds where Echo can dictate the trade if Annie ever burns like a Q stun for the last hit of minion. But now that Annie has a reflect shield on the E and what I would consider probably a buff in the damage, she can react a lot better into the Echo. I think it's going to be what summoner spell Annie brings. If it's TP, we know Crosus loves to do this Dark Seal refillable with Ignite type of start there, and he keeps the pressure on from wave one on this Echo. So I'm very curious to see where the junglers go, especially their first clear. And that kind of tells me what the game plan is for these two teams.
Yeah, it's just waiting here,
Yeah.
waiting and waiting to get in, and then let's see if all this talk that we've been talking will result in how we expect things to turn out to be.
Yeah, you know when I'm throwing up the white flag for talking, it's been a long time.
It's just, I don't want to beat a dead horse here. I feel like we've gone through most of how it could play, and anything more is just going to be pure what if conjecture things. So
Yep.
excited to finally get in the game here.
That we are. So we do have all the scenes up. Everything is up. I am in game, good sir.
Yeah, I am too.
Alright.
I'm at 11, 12, 13, 14.
We're perfect then.
Okay, nice. Look at that loading in well.
Alright, for those...
Something going right today.
Yeah, for those that haven't fallen asleep on us, we got Team Solid versus Caster Curse. Team Solid on the red side, or I'm sorry, blue side. They did take game one, and Caster Curse on the red side, returning with their full lineup, down 1-0 to their opponents here. Game is started. This is a big, big Week 6 matchup we've been noting at nauseum. And whoever wins this game definitely has a very, very big advantage going into not only, the third, fourth seed of playoffs, but also has a very big push on tiebreakers as well. So,
Big stakes. I don't want to point out, talked about the summoner spells. Annie going for the ghost. Thoughts on that?
what? Go. Okay.
Yep.
That was not in my bingo card. Ghost Annie. Interesting. I think it allows her to kite back quite well against the Vayne, but I feel like she's already got one of the longer range auto attacks of any mage out there, so I don't know what exactly the ghost is going to help with. Oh, Pen's bringing the E level 1 here.
Yeah, E start level 1 tends to be what you do on Galio support. You just have that mobility, still have a way to kind of make an engage happen. Because it's not into any like magic damage support, you don't really need the W start. That won't do too much for you, but hook coming through. Pens with a slight buffer, but does get the taunt. Dodges out on the stun. ESB going in, but he's only level 1, so quick trade will be the end of all that.
Ooh, electric Q coming
This
out
is,
from the Annie as well.
yeah, this is kind of what I really don't like about the Vayne is you're just getting pushed in because the Jinx has more range. So despite the fact that you had a chance to really capitalize, we talked on Midwest Weekly. I know they were listening about Pens and Bird being one of our better bottom lanes, and you know, this is a situation where you throw down the gauntlet and really prove it versus opting for a more scaling pick. Cyanic Acid in the mid lane, though.
Oh, here's this ghost coming out from Annie, though. But enough to get the electrocute off. So both summoners burned by Zelda guy here. This is the one thing that, like, I don't agree with. Is the refillable when you don't have TP. Like, I feel like you get such a less value. Oh, but I'll shut up. We got a fight here in the top lane. Or, I'm sorry, bot lane here. Bird sidestepping, Squeezy stun. The ignite comes down. And the bot lane for Caster Curse here, taking a lot of trade damage.
Yep, just fighting in the wave. It's that range difference. We keep talking about it. But trade of flash in the mid lane. Souls nearly catching out one-handed gaming under tower there. Forces the flash out of the trundle early. So good looks really all around for Team Solid in what we thought may have been a shaky early game. Cyanic Acid going for some more cheesy pathing as well to force that trade of flashes in the mid lane. Now level 3 on the Fiddlesticks, a bit behind the curve. We are 4 minutes in. No flash on this trundle as Fiddlesticks does make his way up.
See, and first blood going out the Croesus here, and he does get out with the Echo movement speed out of turret range. Nice counter jungling from Etrium to set up that gank there.
Yeah, that's on me. I was just not really paying attention to the map there, focusing on Cyanic where my thoughts were, and great gank coming out from Etrium, landing the root collar.
This is something you don't see every day. You see a first plate from Jinx under 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think they may have stayed a bit too long though. You kind of screwed over your tempo here if Bird and Pens decide to fast push this. Doesn't look like they will, but Jinx will probably have to drop a little bit of farm.
Lost a melee minion and a cannon there. So, are they freezing? They scroll
It's
down
gonna
here.
slow push out.
Yeah.
But you know, I think not gonna be great for Jinx still, because now Vayne has a longsword and boots up on the Jinx.
Yeah, they had vision on these raptors here, so maybe they have a clue that cyanide acid is in this side of the map.
The Etrium invading in the top side as well. It's an interesting look. But Cyanic really looking to push this bot lane forward a bit more.
Oh, but we have
Flash hook.
Oh, and Souls gets one up top side. I don't think
Action on both sides of the map.
I don't think One-Handed Gaming's Trundles died this season. And he gets the solo kill.
I know it has been followable. There was a Kennen game.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, but Croesus.
But yeah, I'm actually gonna rewind. I'm kind of just curious what happened here on my end, because I was watching that bot lane trade of flashes between Pens and Squeezy. Looked like it was just Souls taking over to that level 6 and pushing One-Handed Gaming under tower with that Q3 into all-out ultimate to end up getting that kill.
Yep.
I'm back to 51, 52.
Yeah, you're just a second ahead of me, but we're good.
Okay, I'll pause a second then. Yeah, so early game actually shaping up okay for Team Solid so far. You know, keeping in there with the top lane of Souls and not really falling behind anywhere else. Massive CS lead in the mid lane from Zelda guy.
Yeah, I think though that's going to start to get neutralized a little bit with this blasting wand. That's the big early pickup for Echo, but one-handed getting ganked here from Squeezy. Nice sidestep here. Pillar comes out, but Zelda guy's up here as well. Soul's flashing for the stop, for the slow, and Zelda picks up another one.
Yes, great roam out of the squad of Team Solid. This is kind of what I talked about in terms of maybe garnering yourself a lead, you know, playing through some more cheesy roams with the pike, with the
We
fiddlesticks. That time we see the
potentially
pike
have a
do it.
dive setup coming out here. Crosus is bot side. Oh, he ends up using the E on the turret, but luckily it does not matter. Pens, though, might fall. It does fall to the very last minion shot. Oh, that feels bad.
Speed of Warfare, too, going over for Team Solid.
Yeah.
A lot more action-packed early game, it feels like.
Yeah. And, oh, he stole one of the grubs with Daisy.
That's crazy. Squeezy in the bot lane, forcing the cleanse out of Big Sexbird. Falling low, just not quite enough damage on the pike to finish that one up.
Getting those grubs away from one-handed Trundle is absolutely insane, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, they really should have had 3 there. That was just crazy lucky little daisy stomp there to
Supportal
help
combat
things out for them.
here in the bot side.
Yeah. One thing I do want to be nitpicky about, in case Squeezy watches this back, you know, when you're on the pike playing for roams like that, and you're already in melee range on a flashless target, we saw him go for the E, the Phantom Undertow stun dash first. Typically, you're going to want to just throw a melee Q out there because you know it's going to hit, and that will slow your target to guarantee a stun. It's just the most reliable form of pike follow-up. So something, you know, keeping my eye out if he continues to make those solid roams through the rest of the game. If he can kind of utilize peak pike mechanics like that to keep setting his team up for success.
Well, there you go. I didn't even know melee pike Q slows.
Yeah, pretty big slow too. You're not usually using melee Q, but I think it's just hovering over 90% slow for a second.
Oh, one-handed with the sidestep there, flashing in, and the troll gets one back.
Yeah, that's kind of what you expect out of one-handed gaming Trundle, especially into like a tank. You know, popping the Trundle ultimate, using that subjugate to take away the resistances of Cassante, and then from there just able to run him down. And now gonna have free reign on that tower for a little bit. Team Solid trading back the dragon on the bot side of the map, but already Caster Curse up to about like a 1.5k gold lead.
Yep. I'm not looking. I'm looking mainly at Crosus here. You've got, you know, what I would argue is your signature champion here. Oh, nice taunt coming out from Pens. I'll shut up here for a second. Didn't get the 3-hit passive from Bird here, but forcing 7 to flash there. So Squeezy trying to make a play there, but nice counter trade from the Caster Curse bot lane. Oh, and it looks like another potential dive again. And Crosus creates the dive opportunity here. Echo ults out. 3-0 on this Echo here.
Roaming on down to the bottom lane, making stuff happen. Flash forward from Squeezy.
Nice animation. I don't know, is that a cancel or?
I'd call it a buffer. Squeezy.
Buffer, that's the word I was looking for.
Flash forward from Bird finishes this one out, and the Crow Storm's going to be late.
Oh, but Exhaust coming out here from Pens. Fear coming out. Nice taunt to stop everything. And Bird, though, has movement speed. And that's 2 going over to this Vayne. On a
big sequence of events.
Yeah. Insane sequence that I think the bot lane for Caster Curse, that's exactly what they want to see and want to do there. You got your full lineup. You unfortunately had to lose game 1. So this helps the mental overall. The Kraken Slayer coming out already now. Excuse me, from the Vayne.
Yeah, Team Solid just trickling in there one by one, and Caster Curse doing well to punish it. First off, that Crosus roam, catching out 7, and then Squeezy just sticking around, a little ambitious on that flash hook. I think this is why we see Pens liking the Galio matchup.
Oh, we see another
in the top lane. Woo.
Oh, I like the the fist pump there by one hand is showing respect here.
Yeah, clinical Cassante gameplay. That's how Souls got him that first time. Just dashing forward, knocking him back under tower. One-handed gaming, gotta keep an eye out for that, as doesn't want to fall behind the curve of this Cassante. Ulti in the mid lane from Tibbers, but with Crosis Chrono breakup, can't expect that's gonna be a complete solo kill.
Ballsy coming out of Crosis, but oh, nice reaction here from Crosis though. R-ing squeezies are there.
Still fighting in the mid lane a little bit. Yeah, good little trade of ultis there. Exactly what you want to see. Just good micro on both sides, being able to react to that and have the kill threat of that too. What I wanted to touch on, Pens on this Galio counter pick. I think this is why he likes the pick. He's probably comfortable in successfully buffering that harpoon from Pyke, that hook. And if you can do that, that's Pyke's main real gap close and laning strength. Seen him do that a few times reliably now, and that's been a part of the reason that Bird has picked up some early kills, as well as Crosis.
Yep, 100%. I know he loves this matchup. He plays it. He's always an advocate for Galio support. And I think this was a great window to pick it into. I think the MR shield's going to be helpful on Annie or Fiddle engages for him to dive in and turn it around. Oh, but we see an invade here in the topside jungle from Caster Curse.
Caster Curse.
Ghost getting popped here from Zelda, guys. So both summoners.
The Ghost deck.
Hey, I'm okay. Ghost way more useful than I thought. And Zelda did get that blue buff, by the way.
Hashtag worth. Throw it down.
For both summoners, maybe.
Yeah, not really. Just great positioning out of one-handed and Etrium to set themselves up for that buff taking. Zelda guy walking on over there and just a bit too late to the party and getting run down there, forced to use both sums, and that's deadly for this mid lane here as we have Pens and Crosis maybe looking to pincer.
Oh, Annie with no flash. Great roam by Pens here. Crosis, welcome back to the series today, my friend.
You're coming through as well.
Crosis popping the W shield here. See if he's looking to create anything. This is a pretty big echo, but I'd hate to see him be too risky with a 400 gold shutdown. Going over there. Oh, nice patience from Crosis to wait on the E. 5-0 on this
from
echo.
Caster Curse. Rolling on over. Getting this echo even further accelerated. That last little instance of that play was just a great trundle pillar, forcing Cyanic Acid to really go nowhere but the dead center of that Ivern Root Collar. From there, the whole of Caster Curse on the roam to help punish with another kill. Transitioning that into the Rift Herald, and now up a little over 2,000 gold. They're looking pretty good as we start to head into this mid-game and maybe turn our eyes towards this second Drake of the game.
Yeah, one thing to note is with all the roaming from the bot side of Caster Curse, Seven has been slowly farming up. He's got that Yuntao, but he got the first turret bot lane. That gave Team Solid feats of strength here.
Yeah, Pens maybe a little bit caught out on this initial dragon setup. Does use the the Justice Punch to get on out of there.
We've seen Souls have to TP top lane, so there is a world where this is a 4v5. They're going on the Crosis mid, but he ends up eating away. And now we just see
and Trundle's moving on down.
Yeah, we see the fight here for this dragon. Nice stun coming out of Bird, forcing Cyanic Acid to flash away. I thought there was a world where that was a taunt coming out after that stun, and they were going to melt him.
All you've got to give this. I mean, you have no flash on your Fiddlesticks, no flash on your Annie. Your Cassante is up in the top lane. That's your main source of gold right now. So second Drake, going to go over pretty comfortably to Caster Curse. Great setup on their end. And a decent answer back from Team Solid.
Crosa's getting caught out, but here's one-handed with, again, we talk about these pillars. Pins in here with a flash taunt. The 7 dies. Oh, big fiddle ult in return. Let's see if this creates anything. Crosus ends up getting a stun off and gets the double kill here while one-handed and Bird take out the rest of the backline. It ended up being a 4-for-1 with Pens being the only one falling after he starts that. Big statement team fight there in the jungle for Caster Cruz.
Yeah, it was a 4 versus 5. And then, you know, even with that Fiddlesticks ulti, your Jinx is already dead, so you don't really have any good damage, especially when you're down numbers like that. Great engage from Pens, catching out the AD carry of Team Solid before that fight really starts to kick off. But the Fiddlesticks just not enough damage at this stage of the game, and from there, Crosus, One-Handed, and Bird are all able to just clean up the rest of Team Solid, and now this gold lead has ballooned up to over 3K. Herald dropped in the mid lane, gonna push that even more forward. We're looking at a 4K gold lead now. And this team is looking mighty comfortable as they start to transition themselves into a 1-3-1 20 minutes in here with a 7-0 Echo and a scaling Trundle.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say, you know, for those that were patient enough and stayed with us this whole time, this is the series you've been looking for. You know, you've seen all the talk from these two teams going at it, and much respect, but you know, Caster Cruz with the full lineup now, making a big thing. Crosus, though, getting
Oh my goodness.
oh, you just got annied.
He just ran him down, popped the ghost, got the stun with the Tibbers, and Cross is just not ulting in time.
I think he was just overall surprised at how much damage came out of Tibbers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why we see the ghost. It has that gap close potential. And that's a big shutdown for the side of Annie.
I know it's a feels bad, and you're typically going to be solo laning, side laning into the Annie here as Crosus. I don't like the QSS pickup after that. I think you just trade damage for damage, and you just won off that as like, you know, okay, I got caught out and I got positioned errored a little bit. Echo is not a champion that you can delay the item breakpoints because all of the components just mean very little for him. He's a very good like item completionist, similar to like even a Fiddle or like a Syndra.
I agree, especially as an assassin. You know, you need items to really do a lot of damage, and also the Q. Like, what are you really QSSing here? You know, a Fiddle Fear, an Annie stun, and in theory, you should have your Chrono Break at the ready. Even something like a stopwatch if you need, but a fight breaking out in the river over here.
Oh, stun coming out from Bird here, and they end up picking out Cyanidic Acid. But yeah, back to your point, like, I understand you like the QSS, so it's like I get out of CC, and I have a little bit of MR, but you just, like, you have to be accustomed to using it, first off. But then if you are, it's just, it's not worth it. There's no Malzahar ult. There's nothing, you know, just major about it. Oh, see the 2-man on the Otacon here. Bird melting this Otacon, actually, very quickly.
Great blade. That thing is going down.
We're not going to talk about the smite, but, you know, Otacon secured.
Ah, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Souls has actually been putting some pretty good pressure in the top lane this game. You know, not really playing with the team as much, really trying to push the envelope on the side lane. Staying actually ahead of gold of One-Handed Gaming in what I thought would be a really tough matchup for him. Now taking quite a heavy trade.
Oh, the thing... Oh, Lord. Okay. Cassante... Oh!
The Jinx Rocket! Bang! From downtown! V7. Cassante setting up.
Oh, Crosus going for the back.
80 carry. Trade of flashes.
Oh,
Crosus
nice
falling
side
low.
storm, but they're here Cyanidic Acid. Oh!
These QSSs.
Oh, no. This is not what you wanted
Wow.
to see.
Massive swing of gold for the side of Team Solid.
Right when the
As
dragon
they
comes up
turn their
as
eyes towards the
well.
Drake.
Oh,
Yeah, Cassante actually getting the better of the Trundle there in the 1 versus 1. Talked about Cassante, having a bit of a lead here thanks to playing a lot of the side lane game. And then a crazy snipe coming through from 7 to finish that one up. And from there, able to kite out a very deeply diving Crosus with the flash. Pike, Fiddlesticks coming up in the area to clean that kill up. And then an easy Drake conversion for the side of Team Solid, who are really keeping themselves in this. And if things stay kind of even like this and they're able to get more of these favorable skirmishes, especially around large objectives, they're going to be looking all right in this game too.
yeah. This is this game just got like super interesting. The limit testing there by Crosus, I feel like was extremely unnecessary. You've got the flash, just get out, but also it was flash barrier. If you don't buy that QSS and you're on 2.5 items, I think you actually kill there.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ghost
cyanic
Storm
acid
coming
with
in.
the ult coming out. One-handed will melt. Bird, though, here on the side. Going after... Oh, Lord. Okay, that was a big pop there from Bird. And he's having to flash away. But here's Zelda guy
Yeah, the snipe.
coming up the river. Also with the snipe from V7. Things coming kind of unraveled here for Caster Curse. Nice flash from Pens.
Caught up. His Ghost is actually paying dividends. But another phenomenal team fight from Team Solid. This Fiddlesticks is finding angles. Just really superior setup around vision. Trundle getting caught out there by the Crow Storm Fear, and then V7 is able to get that reset. It is a 2-item Jinx still at the end of it all. Not this more squishy 80 carry in the MF. This is a hyper carry. This is what I like to see out of Team Solid and specifically V7. And Soul's holding down the side lane in the meantime as well from the Echo, forcing a defensive chrono break out. And now it's almost as if Team Solid are in the driver's seats as Baron is spawning up. And, they'll start to continue to look to pick off members of Caster Curse. But Zelda guy staying around a long time for this red buff.
Okay, a 007 moment.
Yeah, sneaking on out there. Blast cone out.
Yeah, it's man, there's some shopkeeper moments now that I'm looking at this. I don't like the Storm Surge. Echo's passive does more damage the less health they are, and that passive can crit with Shadow Flame. But this Lost Chapter on Etrium, is he going Malignance here? What? You don't need any damage here. Your 2 carries are fed. One-handed still, being pretty respectable in the side lane. So I would have loved to see Redemption or something come out here to try and save somebody before Pens' ult comes in.
Yeah, that's why you're playing Ivern, to peel. If you were going more damage based with a Malignant, that needs to come in early so you can really start to try to snowball things. But Lost Chapter and Bandleglass Mirror. Component-wise, I don't think that goes into anything. So
are we going to Walmart for these items? Like, what's what's the thought process? I see no vision here on this.
yeah.
Also,
And speaking of no vision,
wait. Etrium, where's your red trinket?
yeah, that too. That's more of a nitpick. Like I can see it being okay into Fiddlesticks wanting more vision rather than prevention of vision. I think the bigger ticket is what is that Lost Chapter and Bandleglass Mirror going into, as you really should be playing for your Vayne by this point in the game. We're coming up on 30 minutes, which is very much late game territory. We're going to start to see more of a showdown between V7 and Bird in terms of what they can get done. Dragon spawning in 35. I'd expect that to be the next big fight breakpoint between these two teams. And Team Solid is a bit behind on the setup. Caster Curse doing well to set themselves up with nice positioning, get wards, and are playing together at the start of this. But flash forward from Souls.
One-handed, getting flashed on and ulted. Pins, though, having to burn the ult there. Croesus sitting here waiting in the wings. If it becomes a who surprise who battle, Fiddlesticks is very good at that. Croesus kind of getting jumped on. Fear coming out, so no Fiddle Fear. Pens gets knocked over from the Blast Cone, and Croesus with the Fear gets taken out. And you had QSS available as well.
Thank you for saying it. Yeah, thinking the same. I mean, got feared at pretty low health, so not too much time to do it, but it looks like Caster Curse may still be playing this.
I think you have to give this. I think you absolutely give this. There's no way. This is game losing right here.
Ulti's still up for Team Solid. No flash on the Trundle, no flash on the Vayne for a little bit. It's going to be a crucial little Ocean Drake fight here. Last coned out is the Trundle. It looks like they're going to be able to secure this pretty easily. Caster Curse still in the area though. Crowstorm coming through, doesn't get the fear, but in comes the action.
Bird getting one in return as he does take out Fiddlesticks, but ultimately Dragon goes over to Team Solid. And this Vayne is now so scary.
Yeah, I mean, the Vayne is scary, but they haven't been able to get a team fight around them. Team Solid has just been fighting on their own terms. Catching out Caster Curse, especially Croesus. You know, large piece of the gold lead. Croesus, massive chunk, uses the QSS that time. Gets away with the ulti, but Croesus, you know, was 7-0 on this Echo. Getting caught out a few times. And just better setup out on the side of Team Solid. In the side lanes especially, and then transitioning that into some kind of sneaky vision to get Cyanic Acid's Fiddlestick set up. Don't let the scoreline fool you. It's been doing work. And now with Baron up, that's our next big objective here. And we'll see if Caster Curse is kind of able to pull things together, as I do still think they have the more favorable comp if they can execute things on their end.
See one-handed, taking a little bit of a trade here from Souls. Souls, for picking a tank in the Trundle, has actually been holding his own here in the push. Pretty close to this, looks to be a Jack show. But one-handed, risking stopping. Stopping
Easy,
Souls.
gonna miss.
Yep. Croesus, though, this is one thing that this Echo can do. Is you have Lich Bane. You do push turrets quite quickly.
Yeah, what's the call going to be here? Team Solid is bleeding towers, just talking about their good side lane play, but now around the Baron, getting kind of thrown all over the map here as Croesus is still whacking away at this tower.
Yeah, there's nothing Cassandra can do here. I do think staying for an inhib is a little ballsy here, but does end up using the ult flashing out. Etrium, though, eating Cyanic Acids. All Pins coming through, though. Bird is in the wings here, but they really need to get out of this area. Oh, Bird, though, sniping out Cyanic Acid here. Oh, and this Vayne is trying to 1v3 this fight. Almost gets 2.
Ends up being a 1-for-1 here, but crucially, Bird falling down is pretty good gold over to the Jinx yet again. Without the Vayne, you know, you don't have too much reliable damage coming in. The Pen's flashing forward onto Squeezy, but Seven's going to be able to hit here.
Yeah, 7 can free hit, though. Etrium here has the Moonstone completed. We're all trying to play guessing games.
On the side too.
We're trying to play guessing games on what this lost chapter is going to be. Oh, but they got 7 caught out here. Big stun coming out of Croesus. And a shutdown going over to one-handed gaming. This is some momentum now coming back for Caster Curse.
Yeah, with the Baron up too, and Vayne respawning. Jinx is the heart of this Team Solid team, so looks like the Baron will go over to Caster Curse, finally getting something back here. Playing the bot lane, side lane really well, Croesus is. Maybe a little cut out here, but buying time for his team to get the Baron. Chain CC comes on through.
Okay, donate himself over here. Bird now speeds up this Baron take quite well, so probably the only time I'd say that this has been a good death here for Croesus.
Yeah, and it more so relates to the setup beforehand, you know. Team Solid playing around the Baron a little too long, playing that dance too long, and Croesus in the bot lane and then Bird in the mid lane alongside Pens were able to pick up some towers, some of that standing gold. Force Caster Curse, or force Team Solid, excuse me, to kind of be answering them, not taking these fights on their own turn. But now, flash forward,
Oh,
stun and hook.
Big stun coming out. Bird is here. Cyanuric Acid will ult over. Pen still walking away. One-handed still in here, but Bird now going forward. Let's see what this Vayne can do. 7, though, now here with the traps. Root comes out here on the Souls. Bird, though, does take out Squeezy. One-handed will take out Souls, it looks like.
Jinx
Bird, though.
gets us.
Oh,
Oh, the
Jinx, though.
7! A 3!
Triple kill coming out for this Jinx. Double kill coming out for one-handed, along with another double kill coming out for Bird here. Good lord, these teams are just brawling.
Yeah, that looked really bad for Team Solid at first, blowing a lot of ultimates onto a deceptively tanky Pens, who is able to really get out of that initial engage. And then after the chase starts, it really looks good for Caster Curse. They have Team Solid on the run, but V7 does show up, gets a few of those AoE rockets down, barely able to get the reset through Pens' exhaust onto those squishier targets. And that really saved what could have been a really catastrophic fight. With a few kills going over the Jinx, now almost full build. Now 4.5 items and boots. Same thing on the side of the Vayne. This is definitely going to shape up to be an 80 carry showdown. And it'll be a large part of that too. I say 80 carry showdown. A lot of these fights have been decided based off other members positioning to set up their 80 carries and catching out members. So my eyes are still going to be on the front line of each team too. And who really gets the fight started off first, is that seemed to be what has decided who wins those fights.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you in that regard. I think both teams have been throwing haymakers, but whichever one lands the biggest on that first blow, if they take out their target and turn these fights into uneven, this is tend to go their way. But we'll see. Souls, I think, is going to start having issues. One-handed, though, getting jumped on by Cyanitic. Etrium, though, in the weights here, one-handed, looking to turn this, and here's this Trundle. Oh, nice pillar as well.
It's troll time.
Yeah.
Trundle with the Ivern in the area. Not enough damage between the Cassante, but Etrium falling down.
Ooh, big Annie.
E7 hitting for free here. Reset just shy.
Oh, they gotta get out here. One hand did, okay, maybe misclicked. But Croesus, though, in this bot lane gets an inhib here. Pretty big pickup.
This Jinx is hitting.
Yes.
I need to see, like, I think Team Solid is looking really good if they can keep 7 alive. Flash is still down for another little bit, so that's kind of the window they have to punish. But it's going to be back up come Dragon Spawn. You know, it's really only up to this Echo to get onto the Jinx and provide some damage threat. But other than that, they've been setting up 7 really nicely in terms of these team fight setups. Zelda guy popping the Ivern there. You know, Souls and Cyanic weren't even a big part of that as they just got chipped out by the Trundle. Drake in 2.5 minutes, Baron in a little under 2. We'll see where these teams decide to set up as Team Solid pushing in Vision into the top side of the map, trying to get ready for that Baron. We'll see if Cyanic decides to camp anywhere and what 7 buys on this base. 2.3k gold in the inventory, is now full build, going for a
Blade?
4.
I'm not a fan.
Nope, not at all.
Croesus,
Hook
though.
on to Croesus, though.
Oh, okay, QSS
Does the
used
QSS.
here. Oh, Cyanitic, though, gets hit by the Pen's ult, and it looks like we're disengaging. No, I absolutely hate this Bork. Should easily be an Immortal Shield though. I don't.
Field bow, GA, really
It,
anything. You don't
it,
see Bork on 80 carries anymore, and there's no tank you're really hitting either.
yeah, yeah. I don't. I got nothing.
Yep, painful last item buy, but One-Handed Gaming marching on forward. Objectives are spawning a bit soon. Crucially, Croesus lost Flash in that little exchange. Cyanic Acid a bit caught out though. Flash is away to his team. So jungler and mid laner of opposing sides, no flashes here. We are kind of entering the crazy late game ARAM stage where you're just playing around mid lane as these really big objectives start to spawn. But
Bird
BXB
though!
catches at 7.
Bird though, cleansing away. Tibbers though, trying to one-shot this Vayne. And Zelda guy does fall here. Interesting little tech with the brush here. But here comes Cyanic Acid. Croesus, though, going deep and gets one shot. 7 has the resets going on. And now, this isn't, like you mentioned, this is an 80 carry battle.
Wow. It's staying tense. I mean, Croesus going in deep for that hero play there. Almost catching out the Jinx. Just not quite enough damage. Story of the game. I'm trying not to hate too much on the QSS, but man, it is so... Oh gosh. It would have been a Caster Curse dub on so many of these different team fights without that QSS. You gotta think. 7 able to stay alive there, and once again, you know, his team is somehow creating enough space for him to get these resets and then allow him to hit. And now this Jinx has flash up with this Ocean Drake spawning, this Baron up as well. Is sole point for Team Solid and would only be the third for the side of Caster Curse. Looks like it's going to be pretty easy for them to claim. Just no members of Team Solid on the map, so my eyes are turning towards the Baron for the next big objective for both of these teams.
Yeah. Dragon going over, both teams sole point. We're at 40 minutes, and we're only 2k up in gold. This is what exactly we thought these teams would be bringing here. Dead even after it 40 minutes. And this is now a situation where the next team fight is an end angle here. Everybody's on their 4th, if not 5th item here. Malignant's done for Etrium, so we finally figured out what that lost chapter is going to be. Still no redemption on him, which I think is a very big missed opportunity overall.
Moonstone's alright. I don't mind the Moonstone,
Yeah.
but I do think Redemption is kind of the best supportive item, especially when you're dealing with so much burst against the Team Solid squad.
GA completed from Bird.
Yeah, see that's a good last 80 carry item. You know, you know it's an 80 carry battle at this stage in the game. Having that extra little revive can easily be the difference maker in terms of keeping you alive through that initial burst. Teams starting to play almost exclusively around this mid lane right now, though. But Croesus may be looking to punish souls in the side lane. We'll see who can pull this trigger first. Croesus going in for the mid lane inhib, but is going to be pretty chunk doing so.
Ult's back, which is a really big cooldown. Ult is about 43 seconds for Echo, so not the biggest cooldown. But we see him now towing Cassante around in these lanes here. This is going to end up being a 4v4. Souls does have TP though, but he cannot answer if Croesus is around. So this just is going to end up becoming a big what if... Oh, Tibbers getting used is a pretty massive cooldown here. And that gives Caster Curse a window to walk in. Now we have a 5v5 mid. Cassante using ult here on Trundle. Soul's going forward, getting stunned up, and that is your big tank down. Double kill coming out of Bird here. Triple kill coming out. Quad Penta! Is this a Penta to go to game 3?
Chasing him down.
And a pentakill coming out for Big Sex Bird on the Vayne to put us to a game 3 here.
Clutch is up in the final hour. Main squad is back, and Bird puts him on his back, flapping
No,
those wings about as hard as you can.
don't need minions for this push.
Yeah, 42 minutes in, a crazy back and forth. Team Solid staying alive very long there, bringing us to a game 3 between these two tense teams. I mean, this is what we wanted out of this series.
Yeah, 100%. This was fucking insane. So, we already did get invited to the lobby, but don't worry, I will, excuse me, show you guys the in-game stats here as we wait for them. Where am I going? Good lord. It's like I've never went to match history. Bro, I opened
Don't
up the
blame me for being a
shop. I
little
was like, what am I doing?
combobulated after that.
So, oh, look at this. Look at
Jeez,
this
man.
gold swing. Holy shit. This went so back and forth here. Stats, graph. Bird doing 35k damage. Still 11k under what 7 had, but, you know, all it took was a Miss Tibbers ult, and then they were super not afraid to pull the trigger on the fight. And actually, Pens did more damage than the Squeezy's Pike here in that game.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, the Pike was actually working pretty interestingly in terms of early game and actually getting leads, but just come the late game, not too much utility able to be offered compared to something like the Galio. So at the end of it all, that Vayne was just really able to take over in that last crucial team fight. And now we got a good little game 3.
Yeah. Yeah, this is man, this is everything we wanted here. There was some banter, friendly banter going back and forth between these teams. They are, you know, two what team, this is like the second and the fifth team in our power rankings, but in that group pushing for playoffs.
Dead on. I'm gonna use this time, take my quick little water and bathroom break just in case we got another banger. You can keep running the show as you do. I
I
will be right back.
I will trade out with you when we go to spectator delay. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right, cool. So, looking at the standings so far here, this is what we got. So, Misfits making a charge here at the 1 seed, tied with Pachungus, but they do have the tiebreaker. But now we have this smidden here of 3 and 2 teams that have yet to play, and Caster Curse and Team Solid here are playing for this kind of push into the 3-4 seed here, fighting with Bop It here. Whoever wins this will definitely hold the tiebreaker over the other team, but also will get a game in the total win-loss differential and amongst the tied players. So that's the thing, is going to be the record amongst the tied teams that is going to matter. I will be um, making kind of an announcement tomorrow on what this tiebreaker is, and you know, what we have to look at going into week 7. But that is where we're at right now. Is Caster Curse and Team Solid tied 1-1 here going into a game 3. So yeah, I do see some familiar faces here in the chat. I see LOL Cats. I see Campbell Amoeba. You know, I see a bunch of players that have nothing but the utmost respect for these two teams and have battled them back and forth, and you know, doing some scouting, doing some rooting here for the playoff teams, and what's been an amazing rec league season so far. So here we go with the draft. Team Solid electing to take red side here. Caster Curse on the blue side. Yep, Cats, get the hype train going. This is gonna be a banger. We see the same bands coming out for Caster Curse, attacking souls up in the top lane with the Gragas and the GP, and Seven has been an absolute monster with the Misfortune when they build comps around it for Team Solid. Team Solid, though, going after the Pantheon, which has been a pretty flexible pick. It wouldn't surprise me if Pins or Etrian play it. Zaya, which is the namesake for Big Sex Bird. He is a well-known Zaya enthusiast, and I think that's just honestly what he got the name after. I mean, he's got the Zaya icon rocking as well, so he loves that champion. And then a Moo coming out here, and Caster Curse. We've heard this banter back and forth about leaving Pens' karma open. This is a champion that normally gets banned away from him. He absolutely will pick this champion no matter what. I wouldn't even call him a pure OTP, but he just loves the versatility that this champion brings him. So already throwing down the gauntlet here of like, all right, Seven, if you don't want to ban my karma, we're gonna throw it at you here. And so Team Solid, though, responding with the Ziggs. We seen Kazulan last week play the Ziggs in the Crosus and actually be able to hold his own and respond well. I believe that was into a Cassiopeia. So let's see what happens here. There is a chance that this Ziggs does go bot lane. Seven is pretty proficient on a lot of different mage picks. We did see him bring out Mel, but the Mel is disabled this week here. So the Asol hover. I dig the Asol hover here, but we do see Sejuani also coming out, a very respectable jungler. The only thing I'm scared of for Sejuani is it's not the biggest amount of playmaking for cyanidic acid, so he's just going to be a big tanky jungler, and he's going to depend on his team a lot to be able to make these plays and bring a lot more just raw damage and presence to the game. Caster Curse, though, going with the Senna. I'm not a Senna merchant. I don't think this champion is in a good spot. I don't think she does a lot of damage. And I don't think she is particularly useful. Does pair well with the Karma. It is ranged lane. And if the Ziggs does go bot, I don't mind Senna into mages just because she also has a form of healing and can kind of dance around with movement speed from the E there. Mages, once they overstep, they can get slowed from Senna's autos, and then she's able to just kind of run them down. But for Team Solid, though, we do see the Soraka hover, and it will be a Soraka. So this is also kind of telling me that the Ziggs could go bot lane. Soraka is one of the few enchanters that go well with Ziggs. They do create a little bit of a devious poke lane going on here. The only thing I'm concerned about is Soraka into double range bot lane. It becomes much harder to hit these Qs. So the execution for Squeezy on this champion is going to be pretty clutch here. We do see the Nunu coming out from Caster Curse. Etrium has played this before. I think he's the only Nunu player in the Rec League so far that has shown it. So I'm I'm very happy to see that he's going to a big comfort pick here in Game 3. Looking at the second bans, though, mid lane is going to be absolutely contended here, as we see Croesus losing one of his other main picks in Cassio, and then Caster Curse getting rid of Zelda's LeBlanc and TF. Zelda is a well-known LeBlanc player. I think he's the only one that plays it in the Rec League, or is at least willing to play it. But we've seen him in the past Midwest uh, leagues that he will bust that out if the time is right. And then TF, just a big roaming pick and a good pick in general. So
You're on a roll. Didn't want to interrupt you, but
oh, sorry.
just to let you know.
Yep. So we see the Renekton coming out, but is this a Kale? Oh, okay. Kled. coming out one-handed did show this when he subbed.
Yeah,
So,
we just saw it, what, like a little bit ago. Pretty recent. That would be an
uh,
exciting pick.
yeah, this was
Uh,
last week when he subbed for Happy Jellyfish against um, Bop It, I believe. And Croesus coming. Oh, I'm here for this. I'm instantly hyped. Croesus pulling out
uh,
the Akali, which he's shown before, but Zelda guy wanting to go assassin versus assassin in the mid lane. I'm here for all of this.
this is a draft. This is the Game 3 Fearless Draft. Match of the week. I mean, does it get better than this? I don't know if it does.
Nope.
So much to
Ah,
talk about here.
man. There is. Man.
Mid lane first for that excitement.
I'm like, I hate playing assassins. I hate playing into them. But if I get to sit here and cast two, I would argue like two of the top mids in Rec League so far,
Mhm.
playing an assassin v assassin matchup, I'm down for all of this. Zelda guy is the only one pulling out Neferi. This is now the second time he's pulled it out.
Come back stronger.
This is another wacky champion that he just pulls out, and you're like, how do you go from Vel'Koz game 1 to Neferi game 3, and he still pulls his shit out, and just is proficient at it. Uh, he hates my Asol as much as I hate his Neferi, because I've been on the receiving end of it.
Sharpening my feathers.
And it's something. But then we can't ignore Croesus. This is a Croesus special champion. Like,
Not a problem.
Akali, he plays it. This is his style. He owns this. This is like Rec League monk mentality from Fenboys at Sweat League. He plays these aggressive champions, and he's just going to hands check you and kick your ass with it. So I'm here for all of this shit.
Gauntlet has been thrown down, right?
Yep.
I think it wouldn't be crazy to see both these mid laners just flat out running Knight as well. Just really commit to hand checking the laning phase.
100%.
It's going to be exciting. And those are like two exciting assassin picks too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Macaulay is always fun to watch because of the mechanical proficiency you can show on it. Neferi, same situation, just don't see it too much, but there's so much flashy stuff you could do. That we've seen Zelda guy do on it before, so I don't know necessarily who's favored in that matchup, but I think it is going to come down to mostly hands and skill check, or maybe if any of these junglers can get off some early ganks, as I'd expect that to be one of the focus lanes just because of how volatile it is.
Well,
That may be a difference maker too.
I can say that if Akali does not run Resolve secondary with either Bone Plating Second Wind, they're both great in this matchup, and D Shield, there is a world where Neferi can poke her out,
I have more
but
important
Akali, in like the inner workings of like the melee part of the trade, her Q does do quite a bit of damage to the dogs, so she can clear out the pack
Fight you can't
quick,
win.
very quickly. So there's a lot of mid maxing in this matchup. I would probably give it to Akali a little early, but you know Neferi is one of the few assassins that scales very well. Just going into that mid lane matchup, I'm kind of wondering your take on this bot lane matchup, because this is not something I can honestly say. I don't know anything about these two duo lanes. Senna Karma versus Zig Soraka?
This is where I kind of entered, and I was liking what you were saying. I know you mentioned taking a quick break at spectator delay, so I can kind of ramble for the next few minutes if you want to
I will
do that.
I will
But,
let you have that, my friend.
sounds good. So, in my eyes, with the Senna and the Karma, I don't love the Senna pick here at all. I think Bird has shown that he's that guy for Caster Curse this series. We saw it on the vein, the pentakill. I mean, showing up when it mattered, and now it's throwing your star 80 carry onto this supportive pick. yes, it's going to be okay in lane with the Karma, but maybe go for something with more carry potential, like an Ezreal, like a Jhin, that still offers a safe, strong laning pick, because I think that's what you're looking for with the Senna. Um, because in terms of like healing through Ziggs, that's not going to make a difference. So while I don't think it's necessarily a bad pick, it's just not a pick that I like for the Caster Curse squad. I think it doesn't play to the strengths that they've shown so far today. And on the flip side, Team Solid with the Ziggs Soraka. And another interesting look from Squeezy. We talk about how Zelda guys all over the place going from Vel'Koz to, Nafiri in game three, seeing Pike, and now we're seeing Soraka. I think the Soraka and Ziggs pick is very comfortable here. You're going to just sit way back in the back line. You probably have the Ziggs in the pocket to set yourself up to play with the Nafiri or like an AD mid of some sort. So I like the Ziggs pick early, gives you that option, as well as a flex pick because Zelda just plays anything. And then the Soraka should be able to keep it pretty safe through the Karma. It's not going to be a comfortable lane matchup, but we've seen Team Solid survive what has usually been a pretty potent bottom lane of Pens and Bird. They've survived pretty well, so I think I really like this bottom lane out of Team Solid. It's going to allow them to scale and allow them to really play around your volatile mid jungle. I'm going to say mid jungle. It's not just mid, because Sejuani with melees of Renekton and Nafiri, and then Nunu spam ganking Kled and Akali, the game is going to be decided in the top side here. With a lot more volatile picks on both sides without necessarily that same reliable AD carry scaling. The scaling is going to happen with the bruisers and really who's able to pull ahead at the start here. So my eyes are going to be on the Sejuani, on the Nunu, and what they do early. Haven't even talked about the top lane yet either. I think it'll be interesting to see where these junglers end up ganking, whether that be mid lane or top lane. I feel like you have a good kind of avenue to focus either side and really set up either side with hopefully some spam ganking and not some power farming. Keep everyone who's still here entertained. 1 a.m. Eastern time in the morning here for the series. As taking a look at the runes. Yep, there it is. Gauntlet
Ooh.
thrown down. Double ignites.
I'm here for it. Who'd have thought that, like, after this whole series, knowing these two teams, that we're going to have quad melee solo laners in a game three, which is virtually your season's on the line here. That's not egregious to say.
A summoner has disconnected.
Oh my gosh, and another pause. 'Cause,
And a
of course,
pause. Well, that's the
the
only thing
latest
we
game has
haven't
been
had
going.
today. The friggin' pause.
Oh my
Who
gosh.
was it? Pen? Oh, god damn it, Pens.
Yeah. Four melees, and these two, this is what I was kind of touching on. Two very heavy ganking junglers. Nunu and Sejuani should be able to get on the map and snowball these volatile solo lanes. So that's where my eyes are going to be in the early game, seeing what they can get done.
Yeah, these are two junglers that are going to have so much pressure on them, and it's two junglers that love playing with and ganking melee solo laners. Like,
Yeah.
Sejuani has double melee solo laners, can proc the E-stun very quickly, and Nunu, known for its counter ganking prowess, like, it's so hard to get away from Nunu as a melee solo laner, and none of these four melees have anything to increase movement speed. Like, this is what you see is what you get. There's nothing but damage in this game, and like, just may the best man win.
Yeah, to catch you up on my bot lane thoughts real briefly. I don't like the Senna, kind of similar vein as you. I think mostly though because Bird, has been popping off all series, and Senna is not a pop-off character.
It's gonna be all right in the lane here with alongside the Karma, but there were plenty of other options that I know Bird can play with things like a Jhin or an Ezreal that will give you the same lane prio with more carry potential. And then on the flip side, Seven and Squeezy are gonna be pretty comfortable scaling it up with the Ziggs and Soraka. I don't expect them to really be volatile to deaths in this lane. Maybe poked out, maybe dropping some CS, but the Soraka's going to be able to heal him through it. Ziggs is going to be able to sit safely back and farm and really enable the team to take over things in the top side. And let's sync up here. I'm at 18, 19, 20.
We are
That
100% in sync, my friend.
perfect. And already some spice as 5-man movement into the bottom lane here.
Oh
See
god.
what Etrium ends up. He hasn't skilled anything yet, so this Nunu can start W and really shock, probably 7 off of a potential bot lane invade.
I'm at 36, 37. I had a small little pause.
Okay, I'll pause it.
41,
Like
42, 43, 44, 45.
Yep, we're good.
Alright, sweet. Both top laners going deep blade. Refills for the mid lane. All right, this is just this is pure handsy.
Yep.
This is my brand of League to watch. I hate playing in this brand of League of Legends. Like, give me a mage and let me play chess with my wave state and all that crap.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be. Do we even need directed camera? Should we just like zoom out really wide and keep the mid lane and top lane in view?
God, I would want to.
Let's stay honest. Already some heavy trading. Zelda guy getting that poke down.
Yep. Oh, and the pin's Karma special here. Love sitting in that brush.
Yeah, great bush cheese. They set that up from earlier, just with that 5-man invade, getting some early bush prio, making sure they can walk in there safely. And now this Karma and Senna using their range advantage to slowly push in and whittle down the health bars of Seven and Squeezy.
Yeah, this is this is gonna be boring for about 3 minutes. Everybody's gonna hit like level 2, level 3, and then all hell I feel like is gonna break loose.
Yeah, I am kind of... Nunu is pathing down, started in his top side of the map. So maybe going for a full clear before looking to get out on the map. Whereas Cyanic kind of pathing as I would at least expect, towards the top side, towards his solo laners. But we'll see what ends up happening with these two junglers. Yeah, Etrium skipping the bot lane quadrant of his map. Just going for an early 3-camp gank, rolling on into the mid lane.
Uh-oh, we talked about this. Though, Nefiri does have a defensive spell in the W here and uses it to get out. But no summoner spells burned here. And actually getting Cyanitic to move off of that and reset his Raptors means he didn't lose too much tempo there.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out here is while all that was happening, Souls had the push in the top lane, got a deep ward into the blue side quadrant of Caster Curse's jungle. And so now should know that he's pretty isolated in the 1v1, sees that the blue buff's down, should know Nunu's in the bottom side of the map. So maybe calling up Cyanic to make something happen on this Kled. That's the other volatile solo lane that definitely going to have our eyes on.
Yeah, I don't... I'm not 100% fan of that ward, but you're just kind of putting it there because you have really no other place to put it. You know Nunu's pathing top to bot. You've seen him with the blue buff, and you can count the camps. But, yeah, it looks like Cyanitic Acid's trying to either set up a potential dive when Zelda pushes in, or... I just wanted to check.
It looks like Team Solid really wasn't aware of the full jungle clear there, but still in the area for the gank.
Ooh, Crosus had to burn flash as he went aggressive on the Zelda guy here.
Nunu rolling in too. And Nefiri unstoppable. Snare's still gonna connect though. Oh, trade of ignites!
Ooh, First
Taken
blood
down.
going over to Zelda, and Zelda does end up getting the kill here. Does Zelda have... He does not have coup de grace. Or, I'm sorry, Triumph. So, just barely squeaked by here. But a gank up in the top side. They ended up taking out One-Handed Gaming as well.
And crucially, burned flash from One-Handed Gaming. So Souls and Cyanic still have their flashes up. Would expect a repeat visit there. Whereas that, at least that trade of kills that, or it wasn't a trade of kills, but the mid lane, a kind of unfortunate sequence of events there for Caster Curse. At least forced the flash and the ignite out of the Nefiri for a potential repeat visit, but it had proven really tough on the Nunu to actually get on that Nefiri, thanks to that unstoppable W ability.
Yeah. Now the thing I'm worried about is this mid lane getting out of control a little bit. Nefiri does have a very, very generous build path where if you have gold, just build a longsword. And then if you have more gold, build more longswords. Compared to what Croesus' build path is. This bot lane, though, is taking quite a bit of punishment from Bird and Pens.
Yeah, they're going to be alright, though, because you do have the Soraka to heal it up, and then if anything gets really too bad, Seven should have the... Well, forced to flash there, just some poor positioning. But, you know, if things get too bad, Seven does have the TP to kind of reset the lane in his prio and still stay even with farm. But Zelda guy moving over for the dragon here, as the rest of Team Solid looks to collapse and get set up for an early 6-minute Infernal Drake. Zelda guy really early on the roam here, looking in on Pens.
Exhaust burned. Snare does go through. Bird trying to get some stacks here. Oh, Snare coming out onto Soraka here. But that's it there. Etrium and Croesus, though. Croesus pulling the trigger on the ult, but unable to get anything from there. Seven, though, taking quite a bit of pokes. Bird's going to be close to level 6 here. He might be able to snipe. Let's see, how close is he? He's still halfway, so not that bad. See an invade, though, here in the blue buff from Etrium.
Yeah, so I'm still not too worried about the bot lane either. You know, they aren't taking favorable trades, but Seven still has that TP up, so is going to be sitting pretty, and there's just not too much gap closing kill pressure for the side of Caster Curse, barring any egregious missteps. I'm still looking towards the top side. You know, Souls has slowly been building up a CS lead alongside Zelda guy. These two solo laners have been putting in the work here, so see if they can continue to do so. Early Drake picked up too. The early game is so far looking in the favor of Team Solid.
Oh, but nice gank here. And Croesus gets one back.
Flash forward from Etrium. Knight coming through. And we are back in it, CLT.
2 kills.
Akali picking up 2 kills.
Yeah, that's exactly the 2 kills you want them to go on. That sequence could have gone any better for Caster Curse here.
Yeah, now they're turning towards the grubs too, and this is going to be 3 grubs over. And with both teams playing a 1-3-1 comp, this is a very crucial objective here, as that's going to help facilitate the Kled side laning.
Pens and Bird going in on 7 with no flash. Squeezy trying to heal him and will ultimately get him out, but Bird got quite a bit of stacks there.
Yeah, good trade. Croesus coming down as well. Face does have the Akali ulti up, may be able to make something happen under tower here.
Etrium getting jumped on from Zelda here. Oh, big damage, but Etrium will fall, and Feats of Warfare go over to Team Solid with that solo kill there.
Yeah, just great ulti on the Nunu, catching him out, recalling. Croesus calling off the potential bot lane dive, just a bit too risky doing that into the Soraka. can heal up and can silence you, make that dive pretty tough. But great punish onto the Nunu, and that lets Cyanic Acid get a nice little invade here onto the enemy blue buff, and maybe transition this into a top lane gank. Etrium doesn't see him first. Snowballing in, so is going to be spotted out here. And some trading in the top lane happening as well. Gonna converge.
Yep. We do see some heavy trading in the mid lane. No shocker to those two champions, by the way. But seven is Squeezy able to push his bot lane and to reset it here. Let me see. Croesus has all. Neither mid lane has Ignite. Both of them do have Flash. So we could see a little bit of a limit test. But now this 2v2 is just becoming more and more important here in the mid lane. One-handed does get dismounted, but can remount pretty quickly.
And looking for a root.
Pins with the empowered route to get back some health. 7 though had a little bit of time to sidestep that and does. We see
Yeah,
Zelda.
you know, it really looks worse than it is. I think they're fine in that bottom lane.
Oh,
Top
one-handed.
lane though.
Getting all into here from Souls. Etrium, though, starting to snowball up. Big heal from Souls here, but he goes down. Boom. But Cyanic Acid attacking the bot side. Here is Croesus, though. Use the E to get closer. But R2 does fall short. Did not want to dive under turret. That does give Zelda guy a chance to hit this mid lane turret. Note Zelda is on full hubris here, so he will start to scale with all of this action as well. Cyanic Acid, though, here to help out Zelda with this push. Can you do me a favor and see how many stacks are on this Senna now?
37. So
Ooh,
pretty good number.
Oh, hits the dog.
Keeping pretty good pace. That's really what you want your Senna to be at. And, you know, as much as I don't really like the pick, sorry, Sedgealt comes through.
Ooh. 1 for 1 so far. One-handed, though, with the TP. Pins with the rotation as well. Nice response here. And we're dead fucking even here. Jesus.
Yeah, yet again. Lots happened in the past few minutes that we haven't even had the chance to touch on. You know, Souls, some heroics in the top lane 2v1. Croesus roaming on down to the bottom lane. Nothing really happening there. Zelda guy getting, you know, 3 plates knocked down in the mid lane. And then a mid 2v2 going wrong for Cyanic. After hitting the ulti, just going a little too deep. Getting punished just by the explosiveness on the side of Caster Curse. But Souls has been hitting this top lane tower the entire time. He's up big into one-handed gaming.
Souls
Kled, one-handed gaming's been roaming like too much this whole series. Has not been playing for the lane as much. And, you know, part of that may be because he's been exposed in the matchup, but as a result has fallen behind individually a lot, and it's really made him struggle to hold the lane.
Yeah, Souls is seems to be has cracked the code here on one-handed, but this is the first time we've seen one-handed on a champion that actually allows him to roam here. Oh, Croesus getting jumped on overall, having to flash away here from mid lane. Can you guys just stop fighting for like 2 seconds here? Never mind.
Just more and more action, and not even kills either. So just keeping us on our toes. Gold still even, kills still even, neutral objectives even. It doesn't stop. Ulti going down onto Nunu now.
Yeah, but Pens, though, in a world of hurt here, has to flash away. Though they have the track here on Bird, let's see. Sejuani does still have R, but doesn't pull the trigger on it.
I think they're going to turn their eyes back towards this dragon. You forced out the Karma Flash. Mid lane has been winning pretty comfortably. So with those two kind of cryo setups, you can usher your Sejuani into the Dragon Pit area, Zelda guy can roam on over on the Nefiri, and you can really start to knock that down, start stacking those up, and give yourself a solid late game win con in what has been an otherwise pretty even game. Soul's in the top lane though.
Ooh, fighting was one-handed. Have W coming up here soon. Might have a chance to remount, but does not. Souls continues to just have this freeze up topside.
Yeah, he's up 2 levels now with the Renekton. I know that's going to even out just a little bit here. As Soraka ult comes down for good measure. Nunu's in this area, but I don't even know if they win this 2v1. Snowballing on in. Sejuani trying to collapse as well. It's going to be tight.
Oh, well played from Souls here. He does end up turning on the Etrium, but the snare does come a ride. Cyanidic acid in the area. He has a completed Hollow Radiance here, but Pens is up here getting jumped on. Ult comes out from Bird,
Beautiful
but ultimately
Sejuani ult.
could not get anything accomplished. Reset's coming out here from Zelda guy, and Bird trying to fight back. Big nice sequence here for Team Solid. And
Yeah,
this
it's
is
going to kind of enable them for the Rift Herald.
yeah, and this Rift Herald I do believe will give them feats of strength.
Between those 3 kills and then the 2 Drakes, things are still looking good for Team Solid here. Just able to get the pounce onto a flashless Pens. The Fury ulting on forward. Sejuani just barely tagging the Karma with the Glacial Prison. And then it's wraps from there. This Nefiri is continuing to kind of lead the charge in these team fights. Bot lane still pretty much out of the picture as expected. I'm glad there's no crazy chaos going in down there that we have to cover on top of everything else. But both bot laners are still quietly scaling up. That will be something to keep an eye out for as teams start to rotate and play around this mid lane more.
Yeah, we see Black Cleaver of all things completed here for the Senna. I'm not 100% sold on that first, as there's really nobody buying armor. Speaking of interesting... oh, never mind. Here, we got the Gauntlet throwdown bot side. Zelda, though, Wing the ult, and Crosus just... Okay. I'm just going to straight champ diff you there.
Yeah,
Ooh.
connected on the ultis. The W unstoppable. Not really stopping any damage from coming through. And then that's just a Kali for you. She can get on top of you with that ulti and a few of those shuriken strikes. It is wraps.
Yeah. But the interesting thing, going back to the items a little bit, the Hollow Radiance coming out of Cyanidic Acid, I don't like it. I think you can go something a lot more armor based here. And if you're going to go MR, go Kinetic Blueprint. But okay. I'll shut up.
Caster Curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am with you though. I feel like go for something a little more tanky is what you tend to see. It's a bit more traditional. Not what we see this go around, but
Oh,
another
Pen's
guy
getting
from
jumped
Zelda
on
guy.
here. And the ult comes out from 7, though. Zelda guy does get the reset here, so Bird is in trouble here. Does have the turret. Ends up ulting away, but Squeezy's in the back, just being this mobile health pack for Zelda here. And Satchel is available for this turret here. Cyanidic Acid dropping the Rift bot side. Top side look like it's going to fall here soon. We may have all 3 outers getting taken by Team Solid here in a swift sequence. Ooh.
It really just feels like when Team Solid gets these kills, they turn them into more than Caster Curse has been turning them into. We've seen all these objectives come over. Most recently, these towers, getting the picks and then transferring them into towers and really into pushing the lead. I think that's been the difference so far in the early game, and that's why Team Solid has been able to jump out to a little bit of a gold lead as we crest on the 20-minute mark. And more importantly, this 3rd dragon spawning in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. It just seems like sometimes they're getting either picked out or They're just getting a lot more. But one-handed here, making the move. Etrium getting the snare off. Cyanuric Acid looks like he's going to fall here. Croesus, though, on the bottom side of our screen, going all in on the Zelda. And forcing
Great
Zelda
pick.
to W, so sorry about that.
Yeah, no, that's what you're supposed to do. Take over, run the play-by-play. Kled ulting on in there, picking off really both Soraka and Sejuani there, forcing the Soraka to flash out while Sejuani was trying to block. And that is what you want to see out of Caster Curse, transitioning these picks into objectives, getting the dragon after, putting a stall on that dragon stacking that Team Solid has been doing. Souls, in the meanwhile, this has been the story of the series though, playing more for himself than one-handed gaming is, picks up another tower on the side lane, that inner tier 2 top lane tower, now up almost 3,000 gold on his lane counterpart. That's pretty much the entire lead for this whole game. It's all on Souls. The rest is even elsewhere. So that will be where my eyes are in terms of these next skirmishes. On Souls, who has this gold lead, is he going to be able to continue to push this 1v1 that we really haven't seen too much action around, or is the game still going to revolve around Croesus and Zelda guy, taking turns pulling the triggers onto squishies?
Yeah, that'll be something we have to keep watching. And honestly, up until the Sterix gauge, I thought Croesus may have kill pressure on the Souls here in the side lane. If not, it's definitely going to be pretty close. But now that Souls has this Sterix gauge, I don't think anything's stopping him on the side lane. So I'm curious if Caster Curse will keep pulling the trigger with one-handed, or with Etrium himself as duo engages here.
Probably both, because you do have that great kind of tandem little run at them set up with the Kled charge and then the Nunu snowball. You can just come flying at them. Next objective that my eyes are looking at is the Otacon. See both teams trying to contest vision around that. Souls recalling, potentially looking to TP in, or at least walk in and get themselves set up for the team fight. It looks like this is going to be our next big objective, as Squeezy's a little bit caught out top side of the river.
Yep. The only thing I've seen lacking on this Otacon fight here from Caster Curse is form of anti-healing. So they're going to have to make sure that the Soraka does not get to be too effective in the long-standing fight. But they are flipping Otacon here. One-handed is in here.
Croesus jumping in, and they're all jumping in.
Oh, big R2 coming out of Croesus here. 7 ends up trading one back here. Squeezy in the top backside here. Cyanuric Acid looking like he's going to fall, but gets healed up. One-handed getting his absolute ass beat by this Otacon. And overall...
And 1 for 1 after all that?
Yeah, but Team Solid kind of still in the picture here with Soraka. Soraka will back. So, overall, yeah, just a 1 for 1. I thought Croesus had an opportunity there to get a big R2 on the 3 low health targets.
It really looked like it, yeah. I think just kind of got caught up too in the thick of things. A lot of dive going back and forth there. Maybe a Soraka silence coming through. Really can't tell when a team fight is that chaotic, but when all said and done, Team Solid able to kite out of what looked to be a sticky situation and then ultimately trade one back, mostly thanks to the Otacon damage coming through, shredding that armor from the Nunu as well as delivering some damage back. We saw how much it did to the Kled as One-Handed Gaming was forced to flash out. And now this Otacon is still up. One-Handed Gaming in the top side with no teleport, no ulti, and pick move being made onto Croesus in the bottom lane. But in comes the rest of the Caster Curse squad.
Zigzalt down. Pen's going to snare up. Soul's here. But Bird is not here, and Etrium's going to end up falling. And now Team Solid has the opportunity to go after this Otacon. Ziggs has the damage to be able to zone off here.
TPing away.
Ziggs is TPing away here, so now we have a 4v4. No, Croesus ended up backing here. But one-handed now here, going after the Soraka, flashing out Zelda taking a boatload. Oh, big ult by Big Sexbird. Otacon still halfway done. Dismount coming out of one-handed. Souls now in the middle of this fight. Croesus hit. Croesus misses the Q. Squeezy ends up coming down. Otacon finally going to be taken out by Team Solid. Souls, though, looks like he's going to fall out. Etrium, though, back from the dead here. Coming out. Croesus R2 ends up taking out Zelda guy. Can I please take a deep breath here, guys? Give me a sec. Croesus lands another E. Jesus Christ. We're 11 to 11.
Yep, and what do you know? When all's said and done, we are dead even on kills again.
Oh my
So
god.
Otacon going over to the side of Team Solid, able to get the setup, even though it did look a little messy with 7 TPing away, even Croesus backing. Led leads the charge on in, and really just chaos breaking out with a lot of back and forth fighting. And initial onset, Team Solid is coming out ahead. They get the Otacon. They are positioned together. The Zelda guy jumping in, picking up a kill. Dragon's not down yet, though. Etrium able to secure that one away, but is going to pay for it with his life. 25 minutes in, Baron is up. But back to the Otacon. You know, they pick off those initial kills, but then Soul's giving a bit too much chase there. The Senna's able to kite him back. Buy time for the Nunu to come back. Buy time for the Akali to get damage down. And that's what kind of turns things back and gets Caster Curse set up for that dragon. But that dragon takes a while too. And more, I mean, that was a crazy, maybe like 4-minute long objective damage in that bottom lane river.
I'm good.
When all is said and done, a dragon and Otacon for each side, and more trades of kills.
Finally, we see some source of anti-healing on the side of Caster Curse. Pens picking up the Oblivion Orb. Oh, just finally we got that. I do want to see Serpent's Fang coming out of Zelda guy here, but he's jumping on the Pens here. Coming out, Pens does get the healing from the tether out. Bird, though, coming in, one-handed gaming, just barely missing the ult on the Zelda guy. And that defuses the play quite a bit. I love one-handed being able to roam here and make plays for his teams, but he is one level down on the Souls, and it's trending again in Souls' favor.
Yeah, I mean, it's been in Soul's favor. This Nefiri is not hesitating to pull the trigger at all. Zelda guy, when he sees Pens, he just presses that ulti and sends it. You know, not quite enough damage to finish off the job right now, but a few more items coming in. Could be very scary for a misstepping Pens or a misstepping Big Sexbird. Especially when we're getting later on here. You have things like the Baron up and maybe more crucial dragon spawns up. In the meantime, Souls is still dominating the side lane here. See if the Croc can continue to push his way in and maybe punish the comparatively underleveled Croesus.
Yeah, one-handed, trying to go aggressive here against Zelda guy, but Etrium, oh, I thought he had an opportunity to take that. Might have been at the end of it. Going over here, Etrium going to full AP on the Nunu here. Don't know how much I like that, especially if you're stacking Earth Drakes. I can understand, you know, maybe the Proto Belt or the Zhonya's first, but I think if you're stacking 2 Earth Drakes here, you may pivot to like more of a tankier status, because there's so much damage on this map here. Oh, Bird getting jumped on here. Nice sidestep onto Bill's ult. He ends up getting traded back. Well played by Big Sexbird here. Oh, but Etrium goes bowling and ends up hitting it. Soul's getting jumped on here in the bot lane. And here's the 2 melee carries here. Croesus ends up burning the R. Squeezy pops the R here. And it looks like Souls may... Oh, no! Souls is going to take out Croesus, but now we got to fight in the mid lane. Cyanide Acid ends up stunning up. Bird, though, has the ult back. Ends up hitting the snare again. Trying to put in some work, but this Senna's just not giving him the damage he needs. Oh, but takes out Squeezy as he moved up. Souls does fall in the bot lane as well. Oh, and Bird just maybe man-moding this? Nope, doesn't want to go forward.
For two, when all is said and done, the Zig's just running out of mana in that mid lane skirmish. Like being the difference maker there for Team Solid. If Zig's able to fire out a few more of those bombs, you gotta think Karma drops and Senna's dissuaded from pursuing anything further. But Souls once again coming up big in the 1 versus 2 in the bottom lane, just vastly ahead of the curve in terms of levels, items, and gold. Able to come out on top of that 2v1, allow his team to also pull the trigger on the other side in the mid lane of the map. Just not quite working out, diving too deep under the bot lane tower. And now with Dragon spawning in 37 seconds, thanks to all that fighting back and forth, we do see a few summoners down and a few ultis down. That could be the difference maker in this upcoming fight as Cyanic a little caught out here.
Yep, but ends up giving both of them get some backup here. I'm going to go back to the Ziggs point here. I think this is the part of the game where if Ziggs gets some setup, he's going to start to hurt really bad. But Croesus here in the middle of nowhere getting silenced and taken out. Zelda guy does have resets. Big ult coming out of 7. But they end up getting this dragon. But Caster Curse looking at this mid lane turret here. Demolish is going to be used here by one-handed. And they could potentially jump here as Zelda and Cyanic Acid are duoing this dragon. I thought there was a world where one-handed could have pulled the trigger there.
Yeah, a little back and forth. I think you don't want to commit too hard because it is still going to be a 4 versus 5 if you do end up charging in. But thanks to some good positioning out of Big Sexberg and Etrium, do force the flash out of Squeezy.
Oh, one-handed.
Gaming still looking in for more.
Cyanic tanking up a lot of this getting thrown at him. He's got Squeezy in the back. Anti-healing, putting in some work here. But here comes Zelda on the other side and ends up taking out Bird. Reset coming out here. And this Nefiri is going to start taking over these fights now. Ult coming out, but nice shielding coming out of Pens here.
Yeah, that was a, once again, very back and forth kind of skirmish situation. Ulti from Cyanic Acid on the Pens, though.
One-handed, though, does get the remount here. Pens does get out. 7 trying to flash Q. There's a very tight window for that to work. And if you haven't done it in a while, just don't do it.
And now your Ziggs is no flash. A lot of back and forth there, and they still don't even get the karma after what was a really good ulti out of Cyanic Acid. Soul's picking up the bot lane tower. So more standing gold going over to Team Solid. Picking up the Drake, picking up a few more kills. Just having the upper hand with these picks. Croesus getting caught out, and he is still the heavy lifter of this Caster Curse squad. So, you know, Bird on this Senna just doesn't have the same carry agency, despite the fact that he's been piloting it very well. So now, Baron, the next big objective up, we'll start to see Team Solid push their vision into the blue side jungle of Caster Curse. Try to get set up, look for that same thing where they establish vision, and Cyanic Acid and Zelda Guide lead the way for a potential pick into maybe transferring that into another Baron. All the meanwhile, though, Souls is still on the bot lane uncontested.
Oh, but they see this window. One-handed pulling the trigger here. Souls does not have TP. One-handed is in the fight. Pens trying to support him. Nobody losing any health. But now we see one-handed going after Squeezy here. Gets dismounted. Passive is back up, but I don't think he's going to have the ability to get up. Zelda guy, though, getting jumped on by Croesus, but the Crocodiles just, loving Australia down there.
So 1 for 1, and they get the inhib. Croesus forced to flash out in the mid lane, too. Bird has to be the one to answer. So, one-handed gaming diving in way too deep there. Souls, in the meanwhile, just holding strong in the bot lane, holding very strong as Etrium comes in, and he's looking for another 2v1.
No, they have a
flash out.
chance, but they do
In
give
the
up mid as well.
Team Solid's all over the place. This Ziggs melts these towers. A few more autos, and this is going to be in satchel range.
Oh, but here's Etrium with a big bowling ball here. Squeezy does run away. Mid-turret does get taken down. Bird, though, with a pretty big ult here. But they just have no access to Squeezy here. As he's been the unsung hero for Team Solid with all this healing.
Yeah, and the Karma, Oblivion Orb has only done like 1,000. It's only reduced 1,000 healing. Karma's, I think, a reasonable character to buy it, but I'd like to see it on the Senna too. Someone who's more reliably hitting these members of Team Solid, because Soraka has been keeping everyone alive. That's why One-Handed Gaming went in so deep, trying to dive in, but Soraka healing up that Sejuani. In a 1 versus 3, a Kled at this stage of the game is never going to win that. So once again, Team Solid just picking up more gold after some good punishing kind of gameplay here.
I love
One-Handed Gaming caught out again too.
getting jumped on here from Zelda guy, but they might be centering in on his Kled too much. Zelda getting picked off here. No, ends up surviving. Bird on the other side of this fight here. You have no damage to play through. Crosus, though, does get a nice R2 to take out Zelda guy. But likewise, Etrium does fall. One-handed TPing back to this fight. And it ends up being a 1-for-1. Oh,
Crucially, though, it's the jungler on the side of Caster Curse, so as this dragon spawns, that could affect the objective contest here. One-Handed Gaming going in very deep again.
he's got Senna in the back line, trying to keep him a little bit healthy. Oh my god, that's Ziggs Q on the Bird.
Yeah, eyes are turning towards the Drake, but once again, Nunu is down here, so Squeezy walking forward way too far. Gets cut out with the root, gets punished. And
Bird,
now,
though, they cannot continue to go because of Seven's poke here. They pick up Squeezy, but at what cost? Oh! Crosus, though, getting jumped on. Pen's trying to keep him out. R2 does come up. And Crosus getting hit by the Zigzar.
Mountain Soul's on the table now. Nunu's up, does have flash. Is in the area for a steal.
One-handed popping the ult here, trying to come around the corner. As they go into him, you do have Zelda guy on the other side. Etrium going after him, but now needs to come back. Souls now being a big just front line for his team here. Zelda jumping on the pins here. Squeezy with the ult coming out. Zelda taking some return damage, but overall, Team Solid able to put up this brick wall and get the Mountain Soul.
Big pickup here, 37 minutes in. It's just late game fiesta time. Team Solid at this stage of the game, after Caster Curse jumps in, they're tanky enough, and they're good at kiting things back enough where, Soraka all coming through over top. They can survive that initial onset from One-Handed and Etrium. And after that, without Crosus diving and really providing that damage, Team Solid is sitting pretty, able to get the Drake, and now turning their eyes towards the Baron as the Ziggs TP's in as well.
Yeah, they don't have the quickest Baron take, but it's still pretty respectable at this point in the game. On Soul as well. And I'm very concerned for Caster Curse here because they do not have much wave clear, if any at all. So against these Baron minions, it's going to be really tough. I do got to point out, though, absolute, biggest win of the season for me as Shopkeeper is this Abyssal Mask coming out of Souls. Gives you MR to be able to deal with the mid-jungle, but letting Seven being able to do more magic damage in the middle of these fights is absolutely, such a clutch pickup.
Reed, Crosus trading back a little bit of gold pair with the bot lane tower, but they've got quite the tall task ahead of them now. 5k gold lit down. Gold doesn't really matter by this stage, but Mountain Drake down is going to really hurt the burst potential that Caster Curse is looking to pull out. And the siege of Ziggs and Soraka in terms of setting themselves up, staying safe, and really knocking down those towers, it's deadly.
Yeah, absolutely. Bird, though, completing the IE here.
Bird is big. Bird is at almost 150 stacks now.
Oh, my lord.
4 items on the Senna. He is going to be able to hit pretty well by this stage of the game. It's just I wonder if it's too late, and it is still a Senna at the end of the day, so it's not going to be as much bursty traditional marksman carry damage. Has to be able to stay in these fights for a long time while his team is alive. So that will be the thing to look out for if Caster Curse decide to pull the trigger and try to hold firm.
Yeah, this Senna is going to be hitting from a mile away here. The only thing I'm concerned still is you have the Black Cleaver, so no Last Whisper or any item of that sort happening. This Static Shiv trying to do its best on the wave clear. One-handed is down bot side. He is on 3 items here, so one-handed, I think, able to kind of just sit here and stop Souls' advance. The level differential is starting to shrink, obviously. Squeezy, though,
He's
frontlining
way too
here.
far.
And Squeezy gets picked off by Bird, though. Penn's getting jumped on here from Zelda guy. Ult goes wide, though. Etrium taking so much damage. One-handed having to deal with Souls in the bot lane here.
This isn't here. Cross has been in the mid lane.
Yeah, Crosus is going to have to back here. Souls taking this inhib. Top inhib going to go out. One-handed does have to back here.
3 inhibs down. And they still got Baron. Another 5 seconds here. Are they going to try to march this in?
It looks like it. First turret goes down. Crosus in the shroud here. Oh, ends up getting 7 here. So if they can stabilize this fight, but Bird getting jumped on here from Zelda guy. Senna putting in a lot of work here. They're hitting the turret here. Soul's just not going to be able to fall. Oh, he does fall.
Cyanic is on the Nexus. He's got to help his
on
team.
the Nexus here. Zelda, though, going to fall here. Big snare coming out. Double kill coming out of Bird here. And the pullback here. And the triple kill going over to Bird on this Senna. And a shutdown. I don't know what you're building 5th item, but it's gone. It's done now. You can go back to base and grab it after you clear all these minions. And a big just brick wall of a stop here for Caster Curse. Crosus being the big herald in that fight, taking out 7-6 here.
Yeah, Crosus clutching up, finally showing up in these team fights. I've been talking about how he is still the bulk of the carry for Caster Curse. Brings Ziggs' first death. And then from there, kind of just chaos erupting. Zelda Guy, Souls, and Cyanic Acid. Cyanic Acid was on a separate page there. This was a tank Sejuani hitting the Nexus for 20 damage autos. This Sejuani needed to be with the thick of his team. I don't know if it would have made a difference, but they had to have tried to fight together to really try to burst down someone there, but didn't happen. And now Bird ramping up to full build here is going to be able to buy the GA on the back. 170 souls. Elder Drake up in 30. It is going to be craziness breaking out here.
Yeah, the only thing that's worrisome is you got to pull the trigger on a fight here soon, because you're battling double super minions on both side lanes here. Bird trying to push out this bot lane here. No one's here to stop the top lane. I think one-handed's clear to go back and TP. But we will see here. Team Solid definitely has the move here. Bird, though, back in the base now. This is a 4v5 without your ADC that is scaled to infinity.
Start up. This may be a flip. Important to note, Nunu in Smite fights is very favorable if he can get into the pit. But the super minions are hitting the Nexus. Bird needs to clear this out. Akali backing as well. It's going to be a full flip.
Yeah. Zelda, though, hitting the control ward gives him vision. Oh, he stole it! He stole the Elder!
Huge pickup for Etrium there.
Oh!
Keeping his team alive. Bird and Crosus, the 2 carries of Caster Curse, were sitting back in the base. And now 4 versus 5. It looks like Team Solid are still going to march forward. Maybe look for the Baron with no jungler on the side of Caster Curse. That keeps us in this game. Etrium coming up huge on the Nunu.
Yeah, what an insane Baron steal. I think there's still a world where you just throw off... Well, no, because if you lose that fight, you lose Baron, lose game. No, I think this is the right call. Go after Baron here, reset. Baron buff is longer than Elder Drake here, but extending this game another 5 minutes on what's been already a 3-hour, 15-minute stream. And we started it a half hour late, by the way, guys.
Yup, it has been.
Oh
What
my
else would you want
God.
to do with your Thursday night?
Uh,
Watch the Rec League series of the year.
I'm on
That's
Eastern.
a good way to spend it.
It's 1:49 a.m.
Teams are still
Lord.
dueling out. 45 minutes.
Oh.
We go Baron buff. Team Solid gonna be pushing down. Elder up for another minute here.
Static Shiv
We'll
gone.
see if Caster Curse is able to really pull the trigger early. I like getting rid of the Static Shiv. If you're
Yeah.
playing for a team fight here, throw down the gauntlets. You should have pots in for everyone else. And really
300.
try to pull this trigger with the Kled and the Nunu while you still have the Elder up. Another 40 seconds for them. Crosus going in.
Oh!
Easy, but up goes Crosus. Ziggs trades him right back. Mid laner for support there.
Squeezy is an
Three
unsung
units
hero.
still
Two base turrets are up, but with the Elder Dragon, they do have respectable amounts of wave clear. And they haven't had a chance to come in and get the Baron minions there. Top inhib respawn. All three inhibs actually come up in nearly identical times here. Oh, and we're looking at another Elder fight.
No, I really think Team Solid should keep trying to lay on the pressure. Elder is gone now. You still have Baron. And with no Akali, that gets rid of a lot of the damage threats. Want to see them try to push in, take some inhibs to get themselves set up for the Elder. As somehow, during all this, Caster Curse is taking the gold lead back. I didn't really notice that. Gold doesn't matter
No, it
past
doesn't.
40 minutes, but, you know, it's still so back and forth.
Penn's having
Panic
to
going in.
step aside from Cyanic. Oh, what the hell just hit Bird? Was that a Ziggs Q? Oh my lord, the Ziggs damage. This is Ziggs damage without death cap at 46 minutes, by the way. Like, there's a reason I'm spamming this champion. This champion is broken.
Yep. Still not full bill is the Ziggs. Wow.
Oh.
You characters still not full bill, but inhibs are starting to fall. Baron's still up for another 20 seconds. It looks like Team Solid is going to be able to use that to capitalize on a few inhibs here. But Crosus jumping on in.
Oh, Crosus's R2 ends up coming short. Squeezy, though, getting one shot here by one-handed and Bird. Crosus pulling the trigger on the Zanya, still ends up falling. Zelda, though, having to flash over, gets the reset. Here comes Etrium, though. Souls, though, trying to come up. And it looks like Caster
him up
Curse will live to fight another day. Cyanic Acid looks like he's going to fall here. No objectives worth... Oh, Zelda, though, limping away from this fight. But we have super minions in the base here.
200 souls on this Senna.
Oh, my lord.
Maybe I shouldn't have been doubting it, because this pick is really putting in the work here. Dominating now on the Senna. 8-1 and 11. Just has been able to free hit. No serpents on the side of the Nefiri. Those Karma shields coming in huge. Zelda guy was trying to flash in to kill Big Sexbird, but about 1,000 health worth of shields came in onto the Senna. And from there, Senna's able to just run him down and free hit. And so now the game stalls yet again. 3 inhibs down. Elder up in a minute. Got to be the next maybe big point of contention here as Penn's maybe caught out.
Oh, this Ziggs ult's gonna smack. But Pens does get out. Has a really nice ult tether to get away there. 7 still not on this death cap. Oh, and he's still like 1k away. Etrium getting jumped on, but he is not that squishy anymore. Picking up a Abyssal Mask to help out Crosus's damage here. Crosus full build. I think Big Sex Bird has bought 7 different items here. Now he's on a lethality item, Umbral Glaive here. Wait, did he just get rid of
One-handed maybe caught out here. Diving into 5. Dismounts, but is it going to be enough to stay
Oh,
alive?
big ult coming out! Oh, big
snowball.
bowling ball coming out. One-handed does go. Croesus, though, getting hit a lot. Souls, though, in the middle of everything. Bird free hitting him.
Down.
Croesus does fall. Big Ziggs ult coming out here. Pen's trying to run for the hills here. Bird doing what he can.
Charging forward. It's all on Bird here to hold the line. Really the only damage left for Caster Curse. Etrium trying to go in, buy some space. Looks like Team
Flash.
Solid are finally going to be able to march this one in.
Bird, though, still free hitting, but Zelda guy gets rid of the turrets, and the Nexus does fall, and Team Solid takes Game 3, and what I would probably venture to say is the series of the year for the LOL Midwest Work League. They end up taking a 2-1 series over Caster Cursed. And Campbell in the chat, this is cinema, 100%. Bird
15 minutes.
finishes the game with 219 souls, 164 AD, 200 extra range. Like, oh, he did everything he could. Oh, everything. Oh, man.
That was a game. That was exactly what we wanted to see out of draft too. Like just explosive assassinations out of both mid laners. A pretty neutral bottom lane state that did transition into very spicy team fights later on around objectives. Top lane trades back and forth, active ganking. I mean, that Elder steal from Etrium, that was a 2 Elder game, like 3 Baron game. It fully went the distance. Incredible.
Yeah,
Well played to both teams.
that was insane. I was yeah. If you're gonna keep me up this late, it's 2 a.m. At least you guys delivered. I know both teams. It was a very frustrating night. I know Pens and the Caster Curse guys having to bring in subs game 1. Probably could have been thinking the what if, which is, it sucks, but it does happen. Game 2 absolutely bouncing back in a very exciting game, and then this game 3 just delivered. Absolute 50-minute banger. I think this was our longest game, if not definitely like top 3 longest games of the split. And 7 putting out so much. Everybody put out so much damage here. Like I don't even know. I'll talk about it Midwest Weekly. There's just nothing else to be said here. It's
Yeah, this is a game you watch back. Lot to discuss, lot to talk about. I mean, it was so back and forth. Both teams, it could have gone either way for both teams. Just explosive team fighting, clean side lane trading. Really had everything you want as we're heating up and getting into the latter half of this season. So it was an absolute pleasure to be here by your side for it, CLT.
Yeah, absolute. It was an absolute honor and a pleasure, my friend. I know we did miss West Weekly, but this is actually the first series we casted together, and it's been a pleasure.
All downhill
man.
from here.
Oh man, man, you're the goat. You're the absolute goat.
Whew, that was a series. Both teams already dipping from the.
Yeah, they're done.
But yeah, I don't blame them. It's like 2 a.m. It was just crazy 3 hours of games. Like that was incredible. Hats off to both teams.
Yeah. I don't got much else to say, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start the exit
Close us
here.
out.
Yep. So for those of you that went and got a shot of coffee and caffeine during that, I 100% don't blame you. For someone who's been without caffeine for 6 years now, I regret every decision of that now. But that was Team Solid taking a 2-1 victory over Caster Cursed in what I will say was the series of the year. It's just absolute insane. If you top that, hats off to you. But all of the banter, friendly banter, all of the weights. Caster Curse had so much adversity. Team Solid battling back from gold deficits. Caster Curse then battling back. Like, this series had everything you wanted out of it. So, we'll see how the playoff race ends up happening, as we see the other two games will get played over the weekend. There's one Saturday night confirmed, and I think the other one is looking to be planned on Sunday night. And then, yeah, we got a really big Midwest Weekly to follow this up. I don't know how we're going to do that one. But, yeah. So for CLT and Nexus, we are going to bounce, and I'm instantly going to bed. Deuces. Much love. Thank you, guys.